Hello and welcome back to the Give and Go because Reynoso.
It's okay. You can slow down. It's like, what is this like?
I'm a coach who knows.
You're like an auctioneer. It's like an auctioneer. Like, one's going to talk.
Hello and welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
Folks, this World Cup predictions video is presented by Michelob ULTRA, and it's one of the most exciting videos that we have. It's one that gets me genuinely hyped up because, dudes, folks, I cannot believe it. The World Cup is almost here. 4 days away. I'm counting down the minutes to Thursday when we see Mexico face off against South Africa. But bro, what a journey it's been for anyone that's followed the podcast in the past 4 years. So many messages of people that watched us in the build up to 2022. Here we are once again, 4 years later, building up towards 2026, and this one's in our home ground. It's in our country here in the States, and I just can't believe it's actually about to happen. I'm genuinely just so hyped.
I'm so hyped, man. I can't believe it. Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time at the Azteca, Mexico hosting South Africa. The second leg of the opener that happened in 2010. We get to see it again, but this time in 2026. So much has happened. Mexico just went through their worst period in international football 4 years ago, and here they are, scoring 5 goals on Serbia, bro, in the little warm-up. I could not be more excited. It's all I'm thinking about, folks. Please let us know down in the comments your hot takes, your dark horses, who you think's gonna have a fraudulent tournament, who you're just excited to see. Let me know everything because it's World Cup time, baby. This is the best time of the year. Every 4 years, this is the best, greatest sporting event on earth. It's happening in a couple days.
Yeah, and this video holds a lot of weight to us. I mean, it was in the same video 4 years ago where your infamous Argentina take was formed. It takes so strong, it takes so respected that it resulted in you visiting the country, getting on your knees and kissing the soil as a way to apologize for what was your negative perspective on them, ultimately their limited potential that you believe them to have. But you also had great predictions like Japan going on a crazy run. Mexico getting grouped. That was formed. That was born in this video 4 years ago, bro. So I also want to know from the fans down below, comment please how you feel. If you're seeing anything crazy that maybe a lot of people aren't anticipating, let us know down below. Drop your ball knowledge. And let's get to it, bro. We have a lot to talk about. We've been watching. I mean, I would say we watched the majority of most World Cup qualification games in the build-up, bro. We recapped every single time there was a break. We've tried our absolute best to jump into every single region, even OFC football, to gain knowledge of what's going on here. So hopefully we can get these predictions right. And let's get right into it, starting off in Group A with my very own Mexico, with Korea, South Africa, and Czech Republic in this group.
And I mean, I already kind of mentioned it. I mean, Mexico, I think right now in the best form we've seen them the last 4 years. They're also at home for all 3 group stage matches. The only thing I see happening for Mexico at this World Cup group stage wise is magic. Pure magic. We're going to see big moments. We're going to see goals in this group. So much so that I'm just going to say it out right now. Mexico's topping Group A, bro. Going from being grouped 4 years ago, Mexico's going to dominate this group.
Yeah, look, I'm going to try to be objective throughout this whole video. And I do believe objectively Mexico is in the best state out of all these 4 nations. But then I will sprinkle in a little bit of biasness, a little bit of that fan aspect. I can be aware of it. I'm all in on this Mexico team. I've been optimistic about them for the past, I would say, 2 years since Javier Aguirre joined this team. I love the identity that he's imposed on this team. And the rise of talents like Gilberto Mora, Brian Gutierrez, the excitement that they bring to this team is one that not only is necessary for this squad, but we just don't typically see, attack-minded, creative players like that. I think they'll help unlock a lot of these defenses in this group. And Mexico, with that home crowd advantage, playing at the Azteca, bro. Like, I cannot fathom starting off our tournament against South Africa in front of that many fans with the whole world watching us and us dropping points. I just don't see it. With all due respect to South Africa, I don't see it. I think it's way too big of a stage. Mexico will take advantage and it'll show in all 3 games. I have Mexico topping this group as well. And I think the most important talking point of this group after that is the conversation, is the fight for second place, because I do think there is a pretty wide open opportunity here for both South Korea and Czech Republic to take second place, or if South Africa shows up in ways that we saw in World Cup qualification in the CAF region, they themselves could maybe make a run for second place.
I have this second place position being a battle between two nations here, South Korea and Czechia specifically. I look at Korea and I see a lot of fun offensive players. I mean, obviously you have Heung-min Son, who is a legend when it comes to what he's done for the Korean national team, playing right now with LAFC. Yeah, he might be in MLS, but he's still got it. He's still the offensive leader for this team, but you have very good supporting cast alongside him now. You got Lee Jong-gyong on that left wing. You have Lee Kang-in, who can kind of drift from right wing into a more attacking midfield position. But you've got a lot of guys that have been here alongside Son in midfield too. Hwang In-bom, Lee Jae-sung. This is a very, very good team offensively. The reason why I don't have Korea finishing in first, though, is their defense. You see it in AFC World Cup qualification. You see it in their friendlies recently when they've come to the States. This team concedes a lot of goals. When I look at Mexico, I easily, they have the best center back pairing in this group. That's why they're going to finish in first alongside of the offensive players that you just noted. Korea, for me, their defense really sticks out as a weak point, and I just can't see them finishing top of the group for that reason. But I do have Korea, because of their offensive players, because of their dominance in midfield, finishing in second place.
So what do you see happening in that Czechia matchup? Is that a tie? Is that a result for Czechia? Because I think they definitely could see themselves getting a victory there with the run they went on in the UEFA playoff system. Yeah. Czechia definitely impressed, and they have a very disciplined, organized team.
Yeah.
I find them to be a very calculated side. They know their limitations, but they play well within them. I'm personally banking on Czechia maybe getting a result there.
I honestly would not be surprised if Czechia get a draw. And they actually, if Czechia want to get second place, is there. I think the margin between South Korea and Czechia is actually pretty tight. I'm with you. I think that's actually a great shout to note. Czechia will have a fantastic chance to get second place. I'm just going to back Korea's offense just a little bit more in that match. But yeah, Czechia, I'll just say right now, I have them in third place, okay. But it's going to be close.
I've been siding a little bit more with Czechia. The more I saw the performances in the European region, I think I trust their style of football more in this group specifically. That organized, tactical approach that they have, I think will benefit them a lot here. Mm-hmm. Whereas Korea may be better in one category of the pitch, but they are drastically worse in the other. I trust Czechia's defense more, so I'm going Czechia in second, Korea in third, which leaves us with South Africa in fourth place.
Absolutely. And there's no... I love South Africa. We've seen their whole CAF qualification. They had some really, really good moments. But as we've kind of talked about South Africa at Africa Cup of Nations, for example, and in their most recent friendlies, the team's ultimately limited. You know, they rely on chaos up front, and the chaos works against weaker teams. But this is a very good Mexico side. This is a very strong and organized Czechia side. This is a very offensive South Korean side. South Africa can't rely on just chaos to get through this group. I think they're going to get cut open by pretty much every team in this group. I just don't see South Africa really getting any results. The good news is, though, is I think they're going to entertain. I think they're going to make every game very fun to watch, because we will see open football in all three of South Africa's games. So they're not going to go down without a fight. That's what I'm going to be really happy to look forward to for South Africa.
Yeah, I'm looking at South Africa, and I think their best moment in the past 4 years was that World Cup qualification cycle performance. Like, that was ridiculous what they were able to do in the CAF region. Qualifying automatically is not an easy thing to do, and they did it in convincing fashion. They were the best team in their group, and I really do applaud them for that achievement to get here to this tournament.
Yeah.
But I do think South Africa, I try not to look too hard on friendlies. The recent ones really do concern me. The last three, I believe they haven't gotten a result, and one of those was against Nicaragua, I believe. You know, one of CONCACAF's weaker teams. Mm-hmm. You're about to face the best team in this region at home with a lot of history behind them. I just don't see how South Africa gets a result there. And I worry that going to this tournament it might have not found them at the best time versus if they had started this tournament a year ago when they were playing more positive football. So yeah, shout out South Africa. I'm excited to see their fans and the atmospheres that they provide, but someone has to get fourth place in this group, and I do think it'll end up being them.
Dang, so Czechia really convinced you against Ireland, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think it's not so much as they convinced me, but South Korea worries me more as the tournament gets closer.
Very fair.
I think
Very
that's what
fair.
it is. I think that's what it is. Folks, I want to know down below if you support any of these teams or you just I want to know your opinion, your thoughts on this group. Comment down below. Salts and I were flipped on second and third place, but I really do think it's going to be a battle for those spots. Yeah, Mexico in first place, baby. Mexico in first place. I want to see it. Let's move on to Group B with Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. This group is so interesting. You got a Canadian team hosting this tournament that can be up and down. Sometimes you don't really know what side you're going to get. They can play against really good elite European teams, or they can also play down to the level of some really disappointing squads and leave you wanting more. This is a host nation, though. This is a host nation, man, that produced Drake, produced Justin Bieber, RJ Barrett. And they're hosting this tournament with the hope, with the joy, with the optimism that maybe they can do something special here at the World Cup. They're paired up alongside a really tough European side in Switzerland. I think a beatable team in Qatar, and then the matchup to watch will be that game against Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think that matchup against them will determine who gets second place in this group, because I personally only see Switzerland in first place.
I'll have to mirror you there. Switzerland in first place. This is an easy decision at the end of the day. For as feisty as Canada are, for honestly as good as Bosnia, because they play very good football. Switzerland's, I would say, miles better than both teams. In Switzerland, I actually see a dark horse candidate at this World Cup. A team that can make a very deep run. A team that can compete against the world's best. I'm talking about Portugal, France, England, Argentina. Switzerland can go head-to-head against any of those teams and hold their own. I think this will be a good group for them to kind of showcase how strong they are. I don't think they'll really blow anybody out except for Qatar, but at the end of the day, come 90 minutes in each match, Switzerland will get 3 points in every single game.
And with that certainty that you speak of with Switzerland, I speak the same way of Qatar getting fourth place in this group. With that same certainty, no disrespect, I think what we've seen from Qatar is a side that is limited, a side that I don't think matches up to the talent level and the quality of the two other teams in this group. Now, maybe they won't be as beatable of a team as people think they might be. I think they can definitely be competitive in those matches, but I expect Canada, I expect Bosnia to get a result against Qatar. They don't do that, then that would be Qatar's biggest achievement at this tournament, would be stealing points from either one of those sides. I got Qatar in fourth.
Dude, yeah. You could make a case, this Qatari team who got grouped last World Cup, you could make a case that this team's worse than they were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's just not good, because they were not good as hosts. And I just see this group as, honestly, even harder than it was 4 years ago. This is going to be very difficult for Qatar. I want to speak with the same certainty. I think they'll get 0 points in this group, man. Yeah. I just don't see it at any possibility for them to get anything positive.
Yeah, so the conversation here is between Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina, man. The clips I'm seeing, there is a strong Bosnian presence here in the States, man. They are showing up. I think they're going to be one of the more surprising crowds here at the tournament. Bosnians are showing up to this tournament because I think they realize the opportunity that they have in their hands. This is a true chance to get out in second place convincingly, especially if they defeat Canada. Talk to me about that game against Canada, because that game is everything. Give me your team. Who are you going with in this one?
Look, on paper, I actually see it as 50-50. I think Canada and Bosnia, very similar when it comes to the skill that each player possesses. Canada are a little bit more direct. They're a little bit more pacey. They're a little bit more striker heavy. But Bosnia have got the midfielders. They've got the silky style of play that can cut open a team like Canada. Canada is scaring me a little bit right now because Bombito, I think, is out for the tournament. Schaffelberg is out of form. Promise David is just coming back from being injured.
Davies had a little knock.
Davies actually might not be healthy for the opening game against Bosnia, mind you. So right now, in this very moment, it's not looking good for Canada. Whereas Bosnia really only missing Dzeko, but he might be able to make it for the tournament. Outside of that, Bosnia's got a full bill of health. So when it comes to it, I want to say Bosnia. I can't. I can't do it, man. I can't.
They knocked out Italy, bro. They can knock out Canada.
I can't do it. There's got to be something about this Canadian side with the feisty players that they have, with the style that Jesse Marsh employs. There's got to be something to it at home.
I forgot you're half Canadian.
In Canada, my friend.
You're half Canadian.
I got to. I toured the country last year.
Yeah.
Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. Beautiful cities. If those crowds show up for Canada against Bosnia, somehow, some way, Canada's going to get the result. I have Canada in second place.
This is one of the hardest decisions, man.
It's so difficult.
I want to be objective so bad.
I could. At the end of the day, I couldn't.
Oh God!
It's tight. It is tight though. Objectively, it's tight.
It's very, very, very tight.
Yeah.
The host advantage is a big one. I know it's going to be a sea of red, that opening game. It's going to be a nervy game, but I think Bosnia's going to be as nervous as well. They haven't been here in a while, dude. In a while. And they're a great team. I like that you point out that Dzeko might be dealing with an injury, but this team is more than just Dzeko now, which is what's beautiful. They are a true united team. I'll say this. I got Canada in second place. Bosnia goes through in third place, though. They do not get eliminated in this group.
Right, no matter what.
So
no matter what.
That's the best way to appease my Bosnians, because I am with you. I'm with you on this journey.
Yeah.
I got Canada getting 3 points in that first matchup, and then Bosnia smacking up Qatar, meaning that goal differential is in their favor, and Bosnia moves on to the next round. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point to make for the rest of this group analysis is having one team to just spank I think is going to be really, really important for those third place teams, bro. Like, it's almost necessary if you want to just guarantee it.
I agree.
So keep an eye out for that for these next groups.
Comment down below your predictions for Group B. Let's move on to Group C, where we have Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti. This is the group of vibes. Oh my God, the games that we're going to see here. Brazil, Morocco. Crazy one, just in terms of quality, dark horse narratives that they both carry. Brazil, Scotland. Are you kidding me? The Scottish and the Brazilians in the crowd is going to be a party. Haiti, every single game is going to be a freaking festival, bro.
Yeah, dude.
And then for what it means in regards to this actual tournament, Brazil is trying to make a run at a trophy. It's been over 2 decades since they last won a trophy. They're looking to get back at the pinnacle of international football. Morocco is trying to continue a semi-final dark horse narrative that they set for themselves in 2022, looking to do something so special, while Scotland arrives here in one of the most dramatic fashions, qualifying on the last day of European qualifiers in incredible fashion against Denmark 4-2. We will not forget that result. That was a crazy game. And Haiti is here for vibes. They're here for vibes, making their debut at this tournament, I believe. This is going to be a crazy, crazy group that, for me, the conversation about who gets first and second, because Brazil and Morocco are that good to vie for first place.
And I've had sleepless nights trying to decide who actually tops this group.
I got melatonin if you need it, bro.
I might need some, bro.
We'll talk.
Because Brazil have had a really interesting qualification cycle for 2026. I mean, at the end of the day, they finished middle of the pack in South America. They couldn't really touch the top 2 teams in CONMEBOL. That is rare for Brazil, a team who generally dominates the region. And it just simply didn't happen. There's so many problems with this team. I mean, fullbacks. There's just
just got ruled out, man.
Exactly. The position's truly cursed. You know, gone are the days of Dani Alves and Marcelo, and what exists now is just nothing close to what it used to be for Brazil. With Wesley França now injured, it just gets worse. The situation gets worse. You look at midfield, and you know that the creative player of Kaká, for example, or of like a prime Neymar. It's also not really there. Lucas Paquetá, is he like that guy for Brazil?
Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't.
Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. It's just really interesting. You have good on the defensive end of things, though. I mean, you have Gabriel, you have Marquinhos, you have Casemiro, you have Guimarães. Centrally, you're good defensively for Brazil. So there's questions with this team. And you look at Morocco, and I mean, they're peaking right now. I mean, they were the dark horse of 2022 World Cup, making the semifinals. They went to the finals in AFCON literally just 6 months ago. They have maintained the pace that they set 4 years ago. And you could argue, and I would actually agree with this argument, I see this Morocco team as better on paper than they were 4 years ago. They've added players like Brahim Diaz, Real Madrid's star, into this side. But offensively, I see the team as honestly more mature. Ez Al-Zouli, I think, is a better player now. He's more ingrained into this team. Saibari, fantastic player from the Netherlands. Great option up top. El Kaabi scores bangers for this side, whether it's in starting position or off the bench. And the midfield has gotten very good with new players, El Ainaoui, El Khanous, coming into the side alongside veteran or experienced player Unahi. So I just see this team is better. Hakimi's better. He's won Champions League since 2022. You have Masraoui on the other side. Bono is still a world-class goalkeeper. Who finishes in first, bro? Because Brazil still have Rafinha. They still have Vinicius. They still have a guy like Igor Thiago, who can score goals and fantastic in the Premier League this year. So what happens in this group? Brazil, Morocco. Curious to see who you have down in the comments and who you have yourself, Reynoso.
When I think about an American tournament, an American-hosted World Cup, when I think about the fan differential that we're going to see, because straight up, Brazil is going to have more fans than Morocco in attendance. And Moroccans have great fan appearances. We saw it in the Club World Cup. We've seen it in tournaments over in Africa. It's incredible, the turnout. But Brazil might be top 3 in the world when it comes to that. I think that's a big factor. And that's typically what Brazil tends to do. Sure, they can disappoint you in the knockout stages and the quarterfinals where they fall short. But in the group stages, that's Brazil's bread and butter.
Yeah.
I think you can make the argument that Morocco's a better team, but Brazil, I think, gets first place in this group. I have Brazil in first place, Morocco getting second place. I ultimately do agree with your entire take on Morocco because I do think they are better. I just think there was an element of magic that existed in 2022 that I'm not fully sure will replicate itself to where we see Morocco go to a semifinal appearance once again. Wouldn't be surprised if they make quarterfinals, but maybe they have a competitive matchup in the final 8, and that's where they end up going out. I would still see that as major progress for Morocco, a nation that wasn't making deep runs like this before and now does it twice back to back. I would really respect that.
Yeah.
But is that element of magic there for them to go all the way to not just the semifinal, but maybe get over that semifinal hump and go to the final? Talent-wise, they could. But you know how World Cup tournaments work. Can luck favor them? Can those moments, those small moments that can define a whole tournament, will they be there for this Moroccan team? I ultimately say no, but I'm excited to find out. Either way, they will get tested in this group, playing alongside Brazil, playing alongside Scotland, ID, and I have them getting second place, meaning that there's an opening for third place between Scotland and ID. That game itself will actually be really fun to see.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have to agree with you up top. I do think Brazil is going to get first place. For me, it's just going to come down, that Brazil-Morocco game, it's going to come down to Brazil's star players. Specifically, defensively, I think Marquinhos, Gabriel will lock down against Morocco. Morocco might even have more of the ball in this game. They might even stretch Brazil more than any team in this group. They definitely will. But I think Brazil will be able to keep it 0-0 and take that 1 or 2 opportunities that they're able to craft, whether it's through Rafinha, Vinicius, Martinelli, and any of their star offensive players will finish that one chance that they get. And they'll win a very tight match against Morocco, and that'll be the reason why they finish first place. But Morocco, I see as such a good team. Maybe they don't have the magic. I actually agree with you in that surprise factor won't be there, but I do think they've made up for it with the way that they approach the game now. It's way more possession oriented. It's a lot more aggressive offensively, because 4 years ago, they really were a sit back and counter team. They're not that anymore. They actually prefer to have the ball. They prefer to knock it around in the final third, and I think that approach is a lot better than it was 4 years ago. I still see them as a very, very good team, but will narrowly miss out on first place and finish in second place. place.
I see Brazil scoring a lot of goals here. I do think I do trust their offense a little bit more than Morocco. Morocco's offense in the AFCON tournament at times seemed a little limited against lesser squads. Brazil will be a massive test, and I think it is one that they can pass, but I trust Brazil's offense a little more. Talk to me about Scotland versus Haiti. That game itself, I don't know if we've ever seen it ever in the history of football. We're getting it here at the World Cup, the Scottish and the Haitians going head to head, looking to get a result because Haiti can score goals, bro.
Yes, sir.
Duncan's not on. He scored a hat trick,
Yes,
I think,
sir.
in CONCACAF qualifying. He showed out, and they earned the right to be here. While Scotland also, with John McGinn, Scott McTominay scoring banger golazos, we might get a goal fest in that game that ends up determining who gets third place.
No, yeah, and I gotta represent Haiti here as a fellow CONCACAF nation, man. They got some ballers offensively. Duncan Zazon, you already mentioned, probably the dirtiest Haiti player of all time, ridiculously filthy on the ball. But you've got some Wilson Isidore, a Sunderland striker in the Premier League. He's a part of this team now. You look at the back, too. They've got really good fullbacks who just go forward, add to that offensive pressure. Experience, great player. So I think Haiti are going to have fun in this group. Very difficult to play teams against Brazil, Morocco for 90 minutes, though. That's where it's going to be tough for Haiti. Their best chance to get 3 points will be against Scotland.
Yep.
Thing is, though, I see Scotland as, at the very least, a sturdy team that will absorb insane amounts of pressure, and that Scottish stubbornness will somehow keep that game tight. And then I could see Scotland maybe beating Haiti by a goal, or maybe Haiti just ultimately are too tired of that match, concede a couple in that game. I think Scotland, at the end of the day, have more experienced players, know how to manage a game a lot better than Haiti. That's where Haiti go wrong a lot of the time, is they'll play good for 45, 60 minutes and then collapse in the final 30. I think Scotland just have better game management overall, and they'll finish in third place.
I actually really like that. I'm with you. I fully agree with you, and I will extend that point as to a hot take that I have forming here. Because Scotland can manage games so well, I think they tie Morocco.
Okay.
I think they tie Morocco.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't think Morocco beats them. Morocco gets past them in the group standings off a goal differential. I think they might score more in Haiti or concede less against Brazil. I think Scotland might have a tough time against Brazil. I think that's a bad matchup. But Scotland-Morocco, I think Scotland gets a point there, plus a victory against Haiti means that they get through in third place and ultimately end up qualifying, is how I see them, in that third place position into the next round. Shout out my Scottish folks. There's a strong Scottish population here in the U.S., and I think we're going to see incredible turnouts from them specifically at this tournament.
Dude, I want Scotland to have one big moment in this group stage.
You'll get it.
I want it, whether it's against Brazil, Morocco, even if they end up losing, but like go up 1-0 against Brazil or something like that. That'd be lit. I'm rooting for Scotland.
All right, we're on the same page here, folks. Comment down below if you agree with us on Group C. Let's keep this train moving. Group D. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We have your very own USA squad paired up alongside Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. The group of life, the group of death, you tell me, because we got a competitive-ass group waiting for the American team, the third host nation of this tournament, looks to top this group, looks to get out in maybe second place, prays that they don't have to deal with the third place qualification and relies on luck and other results to get through. USA comes into this group looking to make it out amidst a ton of tough tests back to back to back.
Yeah, this is the tightest group as far as FIFA rankings amongst all four teams. Thing is, though, I kind of see this similar to Canada's group, where I really only see one team topping this group, and it is Turkey. I think they are a cut above the other three teams here. Not as stark a difference as Switzerland are in their group, but I do think Turkey played the better football overall. They have the better footballers pretty much in every single position when you compare them to their other three opponents here. And they also have star players. Kenan Yildiz, great winger for Juventus. He'll be featuring for Turkey. And then Arda Güler, a more creative type of midfielder who, honestly, when he plays for Turkey, he becomes a different guy, almost like a James Rodriguez effect, where he's on the ball a lot more than he is for Real Madrid. He's way more involved. And the thing is, when he does play for Turkey, bro, he scores some bangers.
ridiculous.
So I'm expecting Turkey to really show out, and it doesn't really end there offensively. They're very good on the defensive end of things. They are vicious in their off-the-ball movement. Karagioglu, Çalhanoğlu in midfield. This is a technical team that, yes, they'll face physical teams in USA, Paraguay, Australia, but they ultimately will figure it out due to the technique that they possess. They'll top this group.
Folks, welcome to the World Cup 2026. One of the best dark horse contenders, Turkey. Yeah, I'm with you. I actually think they're one of the more real threats to be a dark horse in this tournament, because people are throwing that label around to a lot of teams because there are a lot of good mid-tier talented squads. But I think Turkey, looking at their path as well, they could genuinely make a run to the quarterfinal with the matchups that they could potentially get. I think it favors them a lot, and I think this group ultimately favors them a ton. Turkey gets first place in this group for me as well. You nervous, man? You nervous? How you feeling for the USA right here, looking at Turkey in first place?
I am nervous.
Okay.
Because, I mean, one thing I've been harping on for a while now, USA's defense is just not good, bro. It's not good. And you look up Paraguay, they've got some good forwards. Australia, maybe they don't have the best offense, but they can keep that game tight. So this is going to be a scrap, is what I'm expecting for this USA team. But the thing is, I've seen some good things. Pulisic is here. He's here, bro. And he's going to lead this team to glory alongside a guy like Folan Balogun, for example, who has been looking very dangerous in front of goal. I look at McKennie and his performances, not just with his USA, but Juventus overall. I thought he had his best season of his career. He looks good in these last couple of friendlies. I think we're going to be able to use McKennie's talent in midfield. And Serginho Dest actually looks very good on that right wing. I'm liking our offense specifically. And in a scrap against Paraguay and Australia, I'm going to back the USA's offense to get us the edge. I have the United States of America as hosts, finishing in second place.
Woo. Yeah, you got to believe, man.
You got to believe.
I mean,
we can edge them out.
Midfield and offense is incredible. It's one of the best that we've seen for the USA, I would think, just roster-wise, like player by player from the midfield up. It is truly incredible. 2026 defensively has shown a lot of flaws, a lot of gaps that really, really do scare me. It's every game now where there are openings for a team that is clinical on the counter, that has talent to kill you on the counter, can take advantage of and can bang on goals, like how we saw from Belgium, for example, putting 5 past this USA team. It worries me, man. I think the World Cup is a tournament where defense really does benefit, especially in the group stage portion of the tournament. I don't doubt the USA getting goals here, but the more I've been thinking about it, the fireworks show that I saw Paraguay have on their send-off, the nerves I feel for the USA going into Friday's matchup against Paraguay, although it is at home.
No Enciso?
I know.
No Enciso.
But Paraguay's good defense.
Hella good defense.
I'm starting to get really scared, and I'm an anxious person. I think my anxiety's taking over, and I'm seeing Paraguay in second place.
Don't do this. Don't do this, man.
I'm seeing this.
Don't do this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I've ran the numbers. I think the USA gets third place in this group. I think they get third place in this group, but I do think they make it out. They make it out.
I don't want your
They'll
pity.
take care.
I don't want your pity third place. No.
You know how I think about Australia.
Say that they'll get grouped. Say that they'll get grouped.
No.
Say it.
No, they're gonna do just enough against Australia. They're gonna score a lot of goals in this tournament. It's gonna favor them. They'll get through in third place, round of 32. USA makes it. But brother, I really do struggle to see them getting the points needed against Paraguay and Turkey. I'm scared.
If they can't beat Paraguay in the opening match, they're not beating Australia.
Yeah, that's everything. That's everything.
They want if they
can beat. No, they can beat Australia, bro. They can get killed 4-0 by Paraguay. They can beat Australia, bro. Australia's gonna get it from Paraguay too.
If USA finishes in third, bro, if your prediction comes true, they're getting grouped. They're not getting out.
Wow.
So I know you're wrong, and I hope you're wrong, all right?
Wow.
USA finishing in second place.
Wow. Folks, let us know. Controversially, where do you stand in this group? And who do you have getting third and fourth place ultimately? Is it a Paraguay-Australia combo, or does Australia put off a surprise here and make it in third?
I really like Paraguay, man.
Yeah.
I really do. They had a phenomenal qualification. cycle in South America where, I mean, Paraguay and Asunción looked like a fortress. Brazil couldn't show up there, bro. Like it was incredible what they were able to do. And you already mentioned that their defense is very good. Omar Alderete, Gustavo Gomez, a Palmeiras legend. Doesn't stop there. You go to the fullbacks, Junior Alonso, very physical fullback. This is a good team. You got Miguel Almiron. We did mention Enciso, who unfortunately will be injured for that opening match. This is a very, very good team. I wish Enciso was healthy because for me, he's their most important player up top. I think not having him on the pitch is going to matter. I think it's going to matter. And without him, I just don't really see them hitting out against the USA. But I think they'll be able to manage a team like Australia. They might even be able to keep a team like Turkey at bay due to how good their defense is. Somehow, someway, I have Paraguay definitely getting out of the group, but it will just be in third place.
Okay. Paraguay goes through. Australia ultimately getting fourth place. I like Paraguay a lot too. No, I agree with you. I really do. I like Alderete in the back line. Premier League type defender. What they did in World Cup qualification was truly impressive. I obviously do worry for Paraguay in their big stage experience. We saw what happened at the Copa America only 2 years ago. It was pathetic.
It was
one of the worst showings I've seen. To think that all of a sudden they can flip the switch into a second place team, I know is ambitious, but I think the run of games that I've seen out of them and the improvements from each player individually has been enough for me to put them over what is a questionable, wide open defense for the USA and an Australia team that I do think they're better than just going into that game. By the way, second place for me, Australia, fourth. We both agree.
And just to give some love to Australia, I always no.
Australians chill.
I always am impressed with how Australia perform at World Cups because it's always better than it is in qualification. They always play so much better than they show. And for me, it's just down to that Australian pride, that Australian grit. It's real, and it always shows up at every single World Cup. Australia is here, and they always get something surprising. Maybe it's like a tight loss against a top team like maybe Turkey, or they'll manage like a surprising draw, or low-key maybe they win a game that they shouldn't 1-0. Australia always show up. I just do think the teams in this group are better than them, which is why I have Australia in fourth.
Hey, those Australians were excited when they got drawn into this group. I think as a nation, they do believe they have a genuine opportunity to make it out of this group, whether in third, second, or even topping it. I think they do have that belief. And so I give credit to the Australians themselves for always being optimistic like that, because that shows in their game. That shows in how they play. They do have that belief, especially showing it in the World Cup qualification where they were able to tie Asia's finest, Japan, multiple times, and even I think beat them at one point. Like those are impressive results. I just wonder if this kind of I think they're kind of grit merchants sometimes. You know what does it ultimately result in? I don't know if we're going to see a result as positive as a competitive matchup in the round of 16 against Argentina, what we saw last tournament. I don't know if they'll match that. It might end up getting grouped at this tournament, but playing close games against these three teams, I think would garner my respect. I just don't know. I don't know if we're going to see the same thing from them as we saw 4 years ago, which was pretty crazy.
It really was. That game against Argentina was insane. But yeah, you got to score goals. And right now, I think Australia are a little bit dry up top.
Let us know down below. Group D results, comment, please. Group B is a fun one. You got a lot of variety here. European side in Germany, South America, second place in qualifying Ecuador, one of the best defenses in the world. Ivory Coast, my God, potential dark horse candidate. They just beat France in the friendly. People are feeling really excited about this Ivory Coast team.
Yeah.
And then Curacao. One of the Cinderella stories of this World Cup with what they were able to do in CONCACAF, truly earning the right to be at this tournament. I do think they're a top 48 team in the world with the way they balled out, scoring beautiful goals in CONCACAF. But they're put in a really tough group, I believe, because the three teams above them, bro, all quality.
Yeah, this is the group that I really want to know everyone's opinion on here. Please let me know down in the comments who you have topping this group, because I would entertain any discussion on who could finish first in this group. I really would. You have Ecuador, for example, second place in CONMEBOL qualification, and they did so by having the best defense in all of the Americas. And you look at it, you have Joel Ordóñez, star for Bruges. You have Piero Hincapié, star for Arsenal. You have Pacho, Champions League winner for PSG.
Amazing.
This is ridiculous, the defenders that they have at back. And then above that back line, you've got Moises Caicedo. One of the better defensive midfielders in the game, period. This is ridiculous. The back line and defensive players that Ecuador have, and they're not too shabby up top. But then you got a team like Ivory Coast who have been making waves with their offensive football these last couple of years in Africa. Say their star player right now, Jan Diomande, absolutely went off for RB Leipzig this year. So much so that Liverpool are trying to get a signature right now. It's a Mohamed Salah replacement. Wow. He's that good if you see him play. But on the other side, you have Amad Diallo.
That's the player.
Another youngster who just had a very, very good season for Manchester United. He's in the team every single game. He's been that way for the last 2 seasons, actually. That's the type of offensive power that Ivory Coast have, but they themselves are also a very defensive team. Their backline at quality is very, very strong. And defensively, too, in the midfield, these are strong physical players. So these are top teams when you look at Ecuador and Ivory Coast. And then you can talk about Germany and the quality that they possess. Under Nagelsmann, for me, Germany have had a very, very good consistency to their play. Nagelsmann has settled this German team down because before Nagelsmann, I mean, Germany was desperate at the international scene, not really doing anything. They had a very poor World Cup in 2022. Their World Cup in 2018 was very disappointing. But finally, under Nagelsmann, they have had success. They looked very good in the Euros. And you look at that team that was successful 2 years ago, it's basically the same players. You have very, very high quality players. Jamal Musiala, Kimmich, for example. You have new players as well. Guys like Volta Made. I like this German team. Maybe they don't have the same star power as their other European counterparts, but this is a very, very strong team that could definitely top the group. And here's the thing, I think they're going to do it. I think at the end of the day, Nagelsmann and his tactics, alongside the German experience that exists in this squad, will ultimately take advantage of young, inexperienced teams in Ecuador and Ivory Coast. I have Germany topping this group.
Yeah, I think there's a perspective where if you want to have a hot take, I would entertain it if you were to tell me that Ecuador, Ivory Coast find a way to top this group. Yeah. I would entertain it because the way that you spoke about both those teams, I think is very, very true. Ecuador's defense, remind me, how many goals did they concede in Congo World qualifying? What's the number?
It was 8 goals.
8 goals. That's ridiculous, bro. Over like 17, 18 games. Crazy.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast conceded 0 in their own group in the CAF region. Looking at Germany, I think about their 4 years and how the peak that they reached at the Euros in the build-up to that quarterfinal matchup against Spain. I think about how they genuinely looked like one of the best teams in the world. And not just that, they look like they can go up against literally anybody, only losing to the eventual Euro champions in Spain, who were the most informed international team at that moment in time, and it took extra time to beat this German team. What I like about Germany is that on paper, I was watching them against the USA, in every position they don't have a single weak link. They have solidity in every single spot on the pitch. Right, maybe they don't have that star power in a fullback position, or maybe they don't have that star power, I don't know, in that defensive midfield position.
Right.
But I think Germany has a type of team where they can look at any other squad in the world. If they're matched up against Argentina, France, Spain, England, and they can look at themselves as, hey, we actually have a shot here if we find it. Yep. We just need Musiala to have the game of his life. We need Verts to cook like no other, and we give ourselves a shot in this game. That's a really special thing to have. I see Germany as like a 5th to maybe 8th best team in the world. And so because of that, I think they do end up topping this group, setting themselves up for what should be a really fun knockout stage run. Germany in first place. And obviously, I'm going to put Curacao in 4th, meaning that the conversation between 2nd and 3rd really does count down to Ecuador and Ivory Coast. And this one is as tight as possible because it just comes down to what you value. Do you value incredible defense with maybe a more limited offensive approach? Or do you value really fun attack, really good midfield play with Ivory Coast, and great defensive performances, be it in a region where I think it's a little easier to pull off those defensive performances. Which do you rate more? I've been saying personally that I'm backing Ivory Coast when it comes to this group. I have Ivory Coast getting second place. I just think they have a little bit more offensively than Ecuador. I think a limited offense is a very scary thing to go into the World Cup with. But can they get the goals needed to solidify second or first place in this group? I say they don't get them. Ivory Coast, second place for me.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I really think Ivory Coast can finish in second place. My only thing is, I think in a high pressure match, the highest of pressures, by the way, this is a World Cup. I think Ecuador's defense is going to shine in that game specifically. And not only that, I think Ecuador's defense will also shine against Germany. Maybe they have a slightly better goal difference in comparison to Ivory Coast at the end of this group stage. I'm backing Ecuador's overall approach to the game, and I have Ecuador finishing in second place. But I really like your take where I'll entertain any argument because it really is just about what do you value. And right now I'm going to value Ecuador's defense.
I mean, I'm seeing your perspective very clearly, man. I'm like, what if Ecuador scores in the first 30 minutes?
And just hold on.
They hold on. They can hold off this Ivory Coast team from then on. I guess I question if they can get that early goal. That really is all it comes down to. But I need to know you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Who gets first, second, third, and fourth in this group? I'm going to go Ivory Coast over Ecuador, but I really do think it is so tight.
Yeah, and to finish out the group, Ivory Coast obviously in third place. And this is just more so on Curacao. Unfortunately, this is as tough a group as it gets for your debut, man. I just don't think it can get tougher.
Where does their story rank across all nations in the World Cup? Is it a top 5 story?
Yeah. No, it is. It's the smallest nation to ever qualify for World Cup. Ever.
Top 3 story then, man. They should feel proud about that, bro.
It's insane that they're here. And the thing is, you already mentioned it, but if you watch Curacao in their qualification, yes, it was against much lesser opponents, but they balled out, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm happy that they're here, is that they deserve to be here. They've got some really fun footballers. All context taken into consideration, it's amazing that there's this much talent in a country like Curacao. It's dope to see them come together and prepare for a World Cup against teams like Germany, Ecuador, and Ivory Coast, ultimately powerhouses in all of their own respective confederations. Curacao get to go up against that. It's ridiculous. Now, unfortunately, I think it's going to end in some crazy goal scoring lines. This is going to be tough for Curacao, bro. This is going to be very, very tough.
Like, I will say this for my Curacao folks out there. Every tournament, and this happened in the round of 30 when there was 32 teams. Now there's 48 tournaments, but every tournament there are surprises. You don't have to go to the semifinal like Morocco, right? It's very different for every country. There's Saudi Arabia defeating Argentina, for example. Then they went on to get group, but that result is going down in Saudi Arabia's history. Who's to say Curacao can't have a moment like that, bro? It's football, man. They have the talent. They have crazy offensive pieces. I'll be praying. I'll be praying for just one amazing result. Maybe they stun Ecuador. Maybe they go toe-to-toe with Ivory Coast. One result, bro. Maybe it happens to Curacao, or maybe the opposite just never comes true.
The moment I'm looking for is like a goal for Curacao. I think Curacao scoring a goal against any of these teams would truly be like a fantastic moment for Curacao footballing history. Yeah. And I'm going to be waiting for that moment because I do think it will come.
Yeah, I hope so. Folks, let us know how you see this group panning out. Let's move on to Group F, where we have the Netherlands, a team that has fallen short in the World Cup so many times. Second place, the most second place finishes in World Cup history, searching for their title as they once again arrive to this tournament with a great loaded roster and squad. You have one of Asia's most fiercest sides in Japan in this group. Tunisia with a very impressive qualification cycle in the CAF region. Always a team to not underestimate at the World Cup. And then lastly, Sweden with that Gyökeres, Elanga, Alexander Isak coming back into form. A great offensive setup with good midfield and defensive pieces, making it to this tournament after qualifying through in the UEFA playoffs. We have a fun group setup where, man, I mean, you look at what people are calling the weakest team in Tunisia, but that will not be an easy game. You'll have to put in a good, solid performance to beat this Tunisian side, meaning that it kind of is like the USA's group in my view. Like I see a lot of different variables, a lot of different ways that this group can finish off. With the exception being that I think Netherlands figures it out, and I think Netherlands gets first in this group. But after that, bro, I think it really is up in the air for second place.
Absolutely. I see a lot of flaws in this group. Like, just to be completely honest, Netherlands, out of all the teams in Europe, I just don't know if I can put Netherlands in like an A tier type of list amongst teams like Portugal, England, Spain. And I guess I'll put them alongside like a Germany, but even then, I'm like, I
would put them in that.
I prefer Belgium right now, for example. Netherlands offense without Xavi Simons, for example, just don't know if I get excited. I don't know if I get excited about this Dutch team. At the end of the day, they are very talented. I just wonder how they're going to perform here at this World Cup. But I'm with you. I have the Netherlands finishing in first place, mainly because when I look at the other teams, I just think their flaws are a little bit bigger.
Right.
So, I'm with you. Netherlands will figure out this group.
Yeah, I want to see Netherlands be in that contender category. I root for them, and I think they're a great knockout nation. Like, I think that the knockout setting, they're incredibly tough to beat. But I agree. The excitement up front, they really showed itself in UEFA qualification this time around. I did want more out of them offensively, but they did enough. They managed games well enough to get first place in their group and qualify here. That talk for second place gets super interesting, man. Do you trust the Japanese side that is trying to carry that dark horse label? Had a great 2022 World Cup and had amazing heights in that tournament. But since then, I think they haven't lived up to what I hoped to have seen out of this Japanese team, not winning the Asian Cup in 2023 and then, taking care of business qualifying in the AFC region, but not balling out the way that I really truly hope for against the tougher teams in that region. And Sweden, technically got by on UEFA Nations League points and getting the opportunity to get back in. Like, they did not have a good World Cup qualification cycle. They finished fourth place in their group, but it was the playoff system that saved them. We're talking about two teams that have their flaws here, and I think really will battle it out for second place.
Oh, absolutely, man. Sweden are basically a brand new team. They just got a new coach. Yeah. They figured it out at the very death in UEFA playoffs. They are here, but man, defensively, the Sweden team is not that good. But they do have fun players up top. Elanga, Gyökeres, Nygren. They're good, but Sweden as a whole, just not convinced at all. Tunisia themselves, yes, they are good, and we kind of saw that 4 years ago at the World Cup, but they themselves really do crumble under pressure, and they're going to experience a lot of offensive pressure here with teams like Sweden, Japan, and Netherlands. And Japan, you hit the nail on the head. Well, they do play good football, and they do have good players. It's very similar to the team that shocked the world 4 years ago. They've been kind of just not balling out the way you'd expect them to these last couple of years. Really disappointing at the AFC Asian Cup. Not dominating in the same way you'd expect them to throughout AFC World Cup qualification. And we saw their friendlies here in America. They struggled. Yeah. They straight up struggled. They will be good. And when I look at Tunisia and Sweden, I just see lesser teams overall. So I have Japan finishing in second place, but there is a chance for Sweden to maybe surprise a team like Japan and try and hit them out and compete for second place.
I've had a take brewing, man. I think Asia's going to have the toughest time at this tournament. Yeah. And so I actually trust the European organization, the fundamentals that are taught in Europe, I think will show themselves more in the USA, Mexico hosted World Cup than AFC. And I think it's going to be a thing about structure, a thing about playing styles. I just think it lends more in Sweden's favor, even though it isn't that impressive. I think in a match against Japan, it's going to work. Yeah. I do. And I get scared for Japan in a big game setting. I don't know if they have the momentum behind them from each player individually. I think they were much better form going into 2022 than 2026 right now. I'm looking at guys like Mitoma, for example, fucking on fire. And now he hasn't really been that this past year. Kubo even too, up top. I think Sweden figures it out. I think they figure it out and they get second place in this group. Japan third, Tunisia in fourth. But as mentioned, I think Tunisia will not be an easy team at all and will make it difficult for literally every team in this group. I just don't see them having enough offensive firepower to actually threaten these teams. And their AFCON performance did ultimately disappoint me because they were coming off of a really good qualification cycle. To then follow it up with that at AFCON, I think kind of reminded me that Tunisia does have a ceiling, and I think it's going to show in this group.
Yeah, thing is, I think your ultimate standings in this group are fair. I don't think they're controversial, bro. I don't see much between Japan and Sweden, and that for me that is the point disappointing for Japan. I still think they'll pull through. I have Sweden in third, just simply because I think Japan will, in that match specifically, manage the game a little bit better. I see the Swedish team as too inexperienced overall as a team. And I think Japan will take advantage of that, but just barely.
What happens if Japan gets first in this group? Does that mean they're back?
If Japan get first in this group, I would be very, very surprised. I would consider that to be a shock. And at that point, I think Japan could make a deep run to the quarterfinals. Okay. But I just don't see that happening.
Well, I just know there's going to be Japanese folks in the comment section down below. Let's hope that happens, because I would love to see Japan reach that echelon, that level.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know if we'll see it against a Dutch and Swedish team that I do think are tough to break down. Mm-hmm. I have Japan in third place. Folks, let us know down below specifically, where do you have Japan and who do you see topping this group, as well as second place and fourth place. Let's move on to Group G, which has Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. I mean, we did group previews for every single group at this tournament. Wasn't this regarded as one of the most straightforward groups at the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, this one's got to be so straightforward, man. There's, in my opinion, you compare all four teams to each other, I see levels between each team.
Yeah.
And I think those level difference will entirely dictate who finishes in what position for this group, man.
Yeah, and I think it starts off with Belgium in first place. I think there's a massive gap between Belgium and the next best team in this group. Belgium has firepower. They have exciting talent. They have great players, a great collection, a great squad behind them. But more than anything, what I feel for this Belgian team is that they finally have no pressure.
Yeah.
The golden generation is essentially gone. You have Lukaku and De Bruyne still there, but they're on their last legs. And I think the fans, the people realize that you can't put that pressure on them to win anymore because their time has ultimately passed. You look at the team, though, and there's great up-and-coming players. Yeah. Charles de Ketelaere, Jeremy Doku, who are now kind of carrying that torch for this Belgian team. And I guess haven't gained the same level of prominence where you're looking at them as the golden generation of Belgium, but they're still incredible players nonetheless that can take this team on a very deep run in this tournament. So I'm excited to see, for what feels like the first time since 2010, 2014, a Belgian side that doesn't really have that expectation of going deep in the tournament, a team that has been, a country that has been so tortured by expectations, finally not having that going to the tournament might end up benefiting them and working more in their favor to where we might see them make a special run finally at the World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. That was a perfect breakdown of this Belgium side, and it's why I'm really excited to see them play, because I think they're just going to play very freely. The no pressure factor is going to be huge for this team. And I really like their offensive pieces. I think it's so direct, it's so aggressive, it's so pacey. And then you combine that with a guy like Kevin De Bruyne, who can really unlock these youthful players around him. I like that combination. And then add in a guy like Leandro Trossard, who just had a stellar season with Arsenal. This is a very good team, in my opinion. I'm very excited about Belgium, to the point where I could almost put them in a dark horse category, not because of the pressure, but just simply because their players are that good. So I'm with you. Belgium in first place.
Yeah. Shout out my boy Luka Bakiu, man. He scored bangers against both the USA and Mexico in those friendlies. I think he's going to cook at the World Cup. Straightforward, because I think a team like New Zealand, for example, is destined to get fourth place in this group. I want to start talking about them first, because this is a team that is qualifying out of the OFC region, was able to qualify directly out of there after defeating New Caledonia 3-0 in the final to make it to the World Cup. New Zealand is New Zealand, baby. The Kiwis are here. They're a fun story and a fun team to keep up with because, yes, there's an obvious talent and quality level that just doesn't exist for New Zealand that other teams have. There's a big gap that exists for this team. But I just think the fact that they play football, where they play football, with their location on Earth, makes their story so fascinating and always has me interested to see what can they do, not even at the World Cup, but like a Club World Cup, for example, with Auckland City. What can they do? Can they give us a fun first half of football? Can they keep it tight against a big name team like Real Madrid in the Club World Cup, or maybe here against Belgium? I'll be watching New Zealand for that factor, for those things to see. Ultimately, though, I do think the gap is big enough to where they're destined to get fourth place in this group and not really challenge for second or third.
Yeah, this is a fun team at the end of the day. And on paper, it's the most talented team New Zealand has ever had in their history as a footballing nation. So that is what to look out for when it comes to New Zealand at this World Cup. I'm excited to see them. To see any sort of island team make it to a World Cup always fascinates me. And New Zealand has always been, cream of the crop when it comes to these island nations. I just look at the rest of the teams in this group. Belgium speaks for itself, but when I look at Iran and Egypt, I see a lot of physicality. I see a lot of defensive grit that I think New Zealand will really struggle to crack ultimately. And at the end of the day, for as good as New Zealand are, they definitely just don't have the same quality players when you stack them up against any of the other teams here. And I think simply the quality difference will have New Zealand finishing in fourth.
We got Iran and Egypt vying for second and third place. I think this is a very interesting battle, very interesting race, because you got an Egyptian team that went to the semifinals of AFCON most recently and was on a really good run with my boy Marmoush and Salah up top. That offensive pivot, scoring a lot of goals and providing a lot of excitement for this Egyptian team. And Iran ultimately qualifying in first place out of their group, a tough group with a team like Uzbekistan, for example, challenging them every single time that they played. But you felt like you got the classic Iran World Cup qualification experience where they just took care of business and got the points needed to make it to the World Cup deservingly. So I think there's two really interesting narratives here for both teams. And I want to know where you stand on is there a clear difference maybe between both these squads, or is it a 50-50 type of battle?
I think it's definitely going to be tight, but I look at Egypt. I just think they're in better form right now. Overall, the last couple of years, Egypt have been playing very good football in Africa. They're very dominant. They don't necessarily score a lot of goals, neither do Iran. But in general, I think Egypt are more consistent. And it's just that for me, the consistency, their physical approach to the game will ultimately oust Iran at the end of the day. When I look at Iran, I see a team low-key in decline that is not doing poorly, but a team that isn't necessarily on the rise like Egypt is, for example. And you look at Egypt too, they have star power in guys like Mohamed Salah and Marmoush, straight star power. Iran don't have that anymore. Their star players simply aren't here or are just fading. When you look at Iran, I have Egypt finishing in second place.
Yeah, the star power factor is true. I mean, I'm thinking about who are the top three players with combined lineups. Egypt's got the first two.
Yeah.
I don't think Iran has a player that gets in there.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. That, I mean, maybe in his prime.
In his prime, maybe he gets absolutely in there.
Yeah, I think there is a gap just as a team for Egypt. I think they have better momentum going right now, and I trust their offense way more than I do Iran's. And I just will add the factors that play for Iran right now, reports that they're going to have to go to games the day of from Mexico to USA. I just don't think will help at all. Really unfortunate what they're having to deal with. So I think it's going to end up favoring Egypt and them getting second place in this group, meaning Iran gets third. But with New Zealand in here, Iran has a chance to run up the score on them and make it through in third place. They do, bro. Or Egypt if they end up in third, man.
I just don't see Iran or Egypt as ultimately offensive teams.
But the gap is, it's New Zealand, bro.
New Zealand, but I don't see Iran or Egypt as offensive teams, and especially Iran. I just don't see it.
I see Egypt feasting up. Mo Salah feasting up a New Zealand defense, Marmoush. I mean, the quality difference, they're going to be licking their lips.
Sometimes Egypt don't show up offensively. That's their problem, ultimately.
I'm saying 3-goal difference minimum for Egypt against New Zealand. I'll say that. I'm going to submit my prediction here, and I'll say for Iran, 2-goal difference. If I'm wrong, I'll look back on it and I'll admit it.
Yeah,
what are you telling me?
I'm not going there.
What are you telling me?
I'm not going there. I could see 2 for Egypt, but Iran, I mean... I don't know.
Wow, you think it's gonna be tight?
I think it's gonna be tight.
Like a 1-0?
One goal difference, or maybe New Zealand. That's where they get their statement in this group is against Iran.
Maybe one of your takes I'm most interested in.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
New Zealand holding off Iran. Let's see if that happens, folks. Comment down below how you see this group panning out. Soltero and I ultimately in agreement with Group G. Let's keep it going. We're getting close to the knockout stages. I'm getting very, very excited. But there's so many groups. Group H. Group H. We got Euro champs Spain, Uruguay from Conmebol, Saudi Arabia. And lastly, Cape Verde, another great story here at the World Cup, qualifying out of Africa. Such impressive football. That game against Cameroon to solidify qualification was absolute scenes as the Cape Verde fans just stormed the pitch. I'm so hyped to see them at this World Cup. And they're in a group where I do think they have a chance. They have a chance, bro, against a Saudi Arabian team that, in my opinion, has not impressed in recent memory. An Uruguay squad that is losing 5-0 against the USA, is questionable under Marcelo Bielsa. I think there's a chance for Cape Verde to maybe do something special, while obviously Spain will be getting first place in this group as not just the best team in this group, but, bro, the best team in the world.
Spain topping this group. Really no analysis needed. You look at their team, and you just see baller after baller after baller. Spain are one of the best teams in the world, just coming off of Euro Championship 2 years ago, dominated World Cup qualification, and it's just the way that they play. I think objectively they have the best midfield in the world.
It might be, yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that's going to take them very far in this tournament, straight up. And then it doesn't end there when it comes to quality, because you might have the best, or you might have a top 2 player in the world in Lamine Yamal.
Who, Ferran Torres? Who are you thinking of?
No, Lamine Yamal, my friend. And for me, that's icing on the cake right here for Spain. Their defense is solid. I just see Spain as one of the best teams at this tournament, period. I think they're going to have fun in this group.
I truly do not need to add anything else to that. I think most people that don't even watch soccer know that Spain is coming in as one of the favorites.
Yeah.
You know, I truly do think that.
Man, they're that good.
Remind me, just say the names to me. Who's their starting midfield?
Pedri. Fabian Ruiz. Oh. And then you could add in Zubimendi. You could go Mikel Merino if you want to. You can have fun with that third position. But no matter who plays there, they gel. They gel so well with whoever's around them. Wow. This is truly one of the more fluid midfields you can have at the international level. It does not get better than Spain's.
Oh, God, it got me like a footballing high just hearing that, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my God. Spain, first place in this group, no question about it. The conversation is who gets second place, because you got an Uruguay team that in the midfield, very, very good. I mean, Valverde, Ugarte, Bentancur potentially, De Arrascaeta, been balling out in South America for a long time. And defensively, they got names too. Ronald Araujo, maybe Chema Jimenez, if he's able to get in there as a healthy player. And then maybe as a fullback, maybe more as a winger, Maxi Araujo made a name for himself in the UEFA Champions League with Sporting CP. If you watch Liga MX, that fool was over there balling out in Mexico for a while as well. This team has names. They got good talent. It's up top where you get worried, bro. It's up top where you get real worried, where you ask the question, do they have enough offensively to get past what is going to be a very sturdy, defense-heavy Saudi Arabian team, or Cape Verde side that's looking to counter, that's looking to pounce on you, and can score goals as they showed in qualification?
Uruguay will show up at this tournament. They're so strong defensively. You look at their players. This is Uruguay. The Charrua spirit shows up at World Cups. Maybe not offensively. I don't think they'll show up offensively at this tournament. But defensively, this team will not allow Saudi Arabia or Cape Verde to beat them. They won't allow it. Uruguay is going to be too strong for that. And Uruguay will finish second place. I'll be curious to see how they perform against Spain. I just don't see them winning that match in any way. But I think they'll be able to keep it tight simply because Uruguay will not go down without bleeding out.
Yeah, I guess,
it'll give them second place.
I think that's why I would find myself agreeing with you. It's a historical thing. Like, I just don't see how Uruguay, a team that is so constantly at the World Cup, they've been here before, bringing in this Saudi Arabian team that's not used to the bright lights.
Right.
Bringing in Cape Verde, who is a great story, but this is the first time here, bro. Like, I don't see Uruguay bending the knee, essentially, not being able to show wow and get the result needed in those games. They might not play their best football, as you would expect, in past tournament iterations, but I think it still will be enough. Uruguay, for me, second place. And I'm going to go Saudi Arabia gets fourth, with Cape Verde getting third, getting a result at some point in this group. I think Cape Verde is capable of it. I'm actually pretty high on this Cape Verde team. I've been very impressed with what they've been able to do. And I think the moment is very big, but it might result in them defeating Saudi Arabia or surprising and maybe getting a tie against Uruguay.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Cape Verde's ceiling really is. If they are to do anything in this group, it would be against Uruguay, possibly tying. I just don't see them getting the win, though. That's the only problem. They'll definitely beat Saudi Arabia. I'm not convinced by the Saudi team at all. They're going through their worst period. They just fired a Renard. You look at the team the last 4 years since they beat Argentina, essentially. It's just been downhill for this side. They can't find the back of the net. They don't know what it feels like to score a goal. This team is not good. There's no way I think they finish above fourth place. Saudi Arabia is destined to finish at the bottom of this group. But Cape Verde, I wonder how tight they'll be able to keep it against Uruguay. But at the end of the day, I just don't really see them winning. Not against these type of teams.
Yeah, we're aligned. But I'm going to be praying. I hope Cape Verde taps into a ceiling that nobody expects and they put on an absolute show. I would love to see it. Group H, Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia. Let us know how you feel about this group. Moving on to Group I, the famously acclaimed Group of Death of the World Cup. Man. You got, two-time World Cup finalists in the past two iterations, France, AFCON winners, Senegal, dark horse labeled Norway, and Iraq, who just got a result against Spain, a friendly 1-1, but had a very fun Asian Cup experience and one of the longest paths to qualification. They face adversity time and time again, having to go up against Bolivia to ultimately qualify to this tournament and defeating Bolivia, a South American team on North American soil, and qualifying themselves to the World Cup. Iraq deserves to be here. I'm so happy to see them here, but they are placed in an incredibly difficult group.
Absolutely. Thing is, if France, Senegal, and Norway all show up, let's say they hypothetically all play 100% their football, I don't think this group is predictable. I really don't think so. I would not be surprised. If Senegal show up the way they did against Morocco in Morocco in that final, Senegal can top this group. They absolutely can. If Norway figure out how to employ their offense the way they did against Italy and Israel in their group and play their really good football that they are capable of, they can get results against Senegal and they can keep that game against France as tight as possible, and maybe there's an early Holland game winner late into that game. If France show up the way that they have this last 12 to 18 months with the absolute star power that they have up front, then they can definitely beat Senegal, Norway in this group. For me, I'm just going to look at percentages here, man. I got to get really nitty gritty about it. I'm just going to say France have the best chance to be consistent against Senegal and Norway.
Right.
Because of that, I have France finishing top in this group. But my God, I really do think Senegal and Norway have a hell of a chance to have some upsets in this group.
Yeah, no, I agree. France, Norway, that's Mbappe versus Holland. We're going to get on the international stage. I need to highlight that. I think that game is going to be in New England at Gillette Stadium. That's going to be history in the making. This group is just riddled with so many good matchups. This is football at its finest. This is football cinema. Let me just say that. France is going to get first place. It's France, bro. They're going to find a way. Even if they don't play their best football, they don't get second or third place at the World Cup group. They just don't. They're going to get first place. I have no question about it. It's kind of what you said, the consistency that they showed historically. I think it is there, and not much has changed since the last World Cup to be like, hey, France isn't going to do it anymore.
Right.
They're getting first place. That's, dude, that battle for second, third place is going to be the craziest one to see here in the group stages. I'm just going to go off of a feeling.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go off of a feeling.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling Norway second, Senegal third.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling Norway second, Senegal third. I don't know. Maybe it comes down to how badly they both defeat Iraq and who has a better scoreline there. Maybe that's what ends up defining who gets second and who gets third. I think that margins will be so incredibly tight. But I think when it comes to Norway versus Senegal, I think they have very different styles, and what makes them successful right now are two very different things. I think Norway is just a collection of guys that know each other so well. There's a fluidity there that I think is really dope to see. they don't have the most elite talent in every spot. You know, up top they do Erling Haaland, but their midfield isn't riddled with like players at Real Madrid or Chelsea or like these big name clubs. They just know how to play with each other really well, which is why I think this is like a golden generation for Norway. Everyone's very well aligned, and I think it results in amazing football. Senegal, I think, is different. I think it's filled with big game players. I think that's what we learned in AFCON is that going in, I mean, Morocco was the favorite to win the tournament, but Senegal showed that they got that big game experience. Sadio Mane can show up when it's needed. You got talent elsewhere with Ndiaye also being able to ball out for this team. The midfield continues to be a very high level of quality for Senegal. They're a team that I think can look themselves against any team and rate themselves, back themselves to win that matchup. And so it really is just about which is my preference. Do I prefer like this big game type of identity that Senegal has, or do I prefer like this homegrown, like beautiful chemistry and fluidity that Norway has? I saw the picture of them in Viking suits. I think that's what's doing it for me, bro. I'm going Norway gets second place. Maybe Haaland's the difference maker. Maybe that's who it is. And he's just more clinical, and I'm going to go with that.
It's crazy because if you just isolate what you said about Senegal, you would have thought you were going to say Senegal in first place. That's how tight this group could be. Really, truly. That's how good all three of these teams are, because all three of them are in a form that they have dreamed of being in. That's all three of these teams. So I'm with you. I really do think it comes down to preference. Do you back Senegal's big game players? Do you back France's ridiculous depth in the offensive positions? Or do you back Norway's unrivaled chemistry? That's what you have to decide when it comes to predicting this group. I've backed France's studs up top to get them through. And I'm with you, brother.
Wow.
I'm backing this special thing Norway have brought together. And I think they're going to do something incredible at this World Cup. I don't exactly know how, but I just know that some way Erling Haaland's going to get a goal. Martin Odegaard is going to do something that no other midfield can do at this World Cup. Antonio Nusa is going to make a name for himself out on that left wing at this World Cup. And the role players, guys like Berg in midfield, who plays for Bodo Glimt, guys like Julian Ryerson, very good fullback for Dortmund. The role players are going to show up for this Norwegian side and figure out a way to finish second in this group.
I do think there's a really interesting factor here of when France pulls up to Iraq's house. They knock on the door. Yo, Iraq, I'm going to need those 3 points. Iraq's going to be like, all right, fine. Yeah, take them. Go ahead. But when Norway comes knocking, when Senegal comes knocking, hey, let me get these 3 points. I don't want to give you these 3 points. What are you talking about? You just let Mbappe cook y'all and get 4 goals on you. Let me have these 3 points, bro. I don't think I want to give them to you just like that. I have a feeling Iraq is going to have one tight game against either Norway or Senegal that will end up hurting whoever ends up getting third place and maybe impacting whether they get through in third place qualification, because I don't see Iraq as this easy team to just steamroll. They're a tough team to score against. One team is going to struggle in this group doing that. If it ends up being the team that gets third place, it could end up hurting them a lot in regards to whether they can make it out of this group and that third place spot.
And that is why I have Senegal in third place. It's because of the schedule. Senegal have to play France and then Norway to start this group. They don't get the easy game until the last match day. And at that point, things might be too desperate. So I think Senegal will finish in third place, and even more so because of the schedule. Both France and Norway get to have Iraq at least within those first 2 matches. And I think that's going to be a huge relief of pressure for both of those sides.
3 groups left, folks, before we get talking about the exciting knockout stages. Let's keep working our way through this. We got Group J: Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. What a beautiful group. So much variety here, man. You got the defending champions Argentina, Austria, who has been playing really, really good football under Ralph Ragnick. Algeria, showcasing a little bit of that flair, showcasing a little bit of that class in both AFCON and World Cup qualification. And then Jordan, Asian Cup finalists, ultimately losing to Qatar, but qualifying to the tournament. An amazing story as they earned rightful qualification here while playing really exciting football with exciting offensive players. This one I think is pretty straightforward. I'm going to just say right off the bat, I think it's very straightforward. Starting off with Argentina getting first place. I'm going to get right to it. I think Austria gets second.
Yeah, I do. I'm with you. I mean, to start with Argentina, though, at first place, top this group. I'm going to speak with the same confidence as Spain, bro. I think Argentina is one of the best teams in international football still. Having won the World Cup 4 years ago, I see this team as direct title contenders for 2026. It's the same players, but they've gotten more deep. And I think that's going to come in clutch at this tournament. You still have the GOAT, Leo Messi, playing for Argentina at this World Cup. But you look at the way that they play, there's just something special about this group, this generation of players that has come through in the 2020s. They do not like losing. And it's that aggression and the way that they approach games, it's something that I just don't see any other international team have, man. It's like an allergy to losing on the biggest stage. Argentina don't have that anymore. It's ridiculous. 2-time Copa America winners. I mean, when it comes to like knockout setting, Argentina just simply don't lose in the 2020s. And for me, that's a mentality. That's an energy. This team still possesses that. So even if they drop one game in the group stage, Argentina is going to be, I would consider, nearly impossible to beat in a knockout setting.
Yeah. And I think I just have to give them that respect. I think they've earned it. Their run has been incredible, and winning Copa Americas, winning the World Cup, and the way they've done it has been so impressive. I mean, I even look at their squad and, like, you would think, you know, they're starting a guy like Paredes, for example, in the midfield, plays at Boca Juniors. Alexis McAllister had his worst season with Liverpool just now.
Right.
Defensively, Tagliafico and Montiel have never been the most elite fullbacks. They never really have been that. Cristian Romero almost got relegated with Tottenham. Otamendi's old now. Right?
Oh, right.
Like, you would think individually these players maybe aren't in their best form going to this tournament. Whereas in 2022, I think it was a better situation for most players. But even with that, bro, I think when they come together, it's kind of like what I was saying about Norway. I think they have this unity. Mm-hmm. They have this reliance on each other, this trust that just can't be matched by even the best nations in the world right now. And until they get beaten in a knockout setting, I'm always going to back Argentina.
Exactly.
I just have to. It's out of respect because they are vying. They're trying to become the greatest international team of all time in the modern era, at the very least, by winning back-to-back World Cups. That's an option for them. And the fact that they're even being considered for that, I think garners a certain level of respect, which to me translates to first place in this group without question.
Yeah, in second place, I'm also with you, Austria. The question here is Austria or Algeria, simply. Thing is, Algeria, I think for as good as they are offensively with players like Ibrahim Maza, you have Ait Nouri attacking from fullback position, El Hadj Moussa, very good player from the Netherlands, Riyad Mahrez, veteran Riyad Mahrez, still playing with this side. They've got studs up front, do not get me wrong, but Austria is just, for me, a more balanced team. A team that has a better approach to the game. They're more disciplined. Their game management overall is a lot better. Algeria, for me, have way too heavy of a reliance on their star players, and the rest of the team doesn't really step up, in my opinion, especially on the bigger stages. You look at Algeria's performances in AFCONs as of late, it has been very disappointing. They just don't show up on the big stage. Whereas Austria, they had a very good Euros. It's practically the same team. There will be a big miss with their attacking midfielder, Christoph Baumgartner, getting injured right before the World Cup. That does suck, but that's the thing about Austria. They are bigger than just the individual players. I have Austria finishing in second.
Yeah, I mean, I hate being too harsh on it, but emotionally, it did mess with me when I saw from Algeria at the AFCON. Because, bro, they started off so fun.
They did.
They had a great start to the tournament. I was like, no way, Algeria is building off of the World Cup qualification. This is going to be an amazing run. And then they fizzled out, bro.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time. And there was a gap that was shown in that game where they lost, where I was like, oh man, maybe the Algerian dream just isn't meant to be right now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm letting that affect me a lot emotionally, to where, I don't think I see them get in second place because of that. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see more consistency from this Algerian team. I think they have the base to be able to potentially do that. But Austria is going to be a tough team to do that against. They've been building slowly for the past 4, I would say even 6 years, as so many players play in the Bundesliga, have translated their talents from Austria over to Europe's finest squads. And I think it's going to show at this World Cup that Austria could enter the dark horse category if they have a good performance in the group stages. It's a tone-setting type of group stage performance. So Austria, they do it. Second place for them, Algeria in third, leaving the beautiful, the beloved, the well-appreciated on this podcast, Jordan team in fourth place.
Yeah, Jordan in fourth place. It just comes down to their defense not being able to hold against these type of teams. Jordan, I think, are good against teams that are at their level, which is a lot of Asian teams, which is why we were able to see Jordan go all the way to the final of the AFC Asian Cup. That level, they actually thrive because they have such a good offense. They're very fluid on the ball. It's very direct. They have a lot of pace to their game as well. But unfortunately, their defense just does not match up to the level as their offense. And against any team that has any inkling of offensive threat, Jordan cave every single time. And they don't cave once, they don't cave twice. Sometimes they cave three or four times, bro. This is going to be a very difficult group for Jordan, but I think their offense will be able to display good quality. That's what I'm going to be looking for Jordan at this World Cup. It's their debut. Show out, ball out, get a couple goals. But being able to win against Algeria, Austria, Argentina, I almost see that as impossible for Jordan.
Just out of respect for my Jordan folks at home so they know that we love them, list off their offensive front line just as a sign of respect.
Sign of respect. I mean, you would have my boy Al-Naimat, who unfortunately will be injured. It sucks he won't be there. He's a very technical striker, but you got Ali Olwan, very good finisher in front of goal. And then, of course, Musa Al-Tamari, the best Jordanian player of all time.
Jordanian
Messi plays in Ligue 1 for Rennes. Very, very good player. But then right now on the other side, you maybe have Al-Mardi, for example. Very good, tricky winger. So this is going to be a very fun Jordanian offense specifically.
Fourth place in this group. Let's move on to Group K. Let's move on to Group K, folks. We got Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan, and DR Congo. Portugal, my God, the top, bro. People are starting to believe. People are starting to believe the talks of them being selected as not just a dark horse, but the team to win the tournament has actually been really surprising to me. I think a lot of people have that faith, have that belief, are starting to put that pressure on Portugal to finally deliver at a World Cup after falling short time and time again in the Ronaldo era. Colombia has been on an incredible run. Amazing fans, great CONMEBOL appearances, great Copa America run, making it all the way to the final and only losing to the defending champions in extra time. Uzbekistan, oh my gosh, their first time here at the World Cup, I believe, making a name for themselves in the AFC region. They were one of the few Asian teams to not qualify to the World Cup, and they finally did it, playing incredible football. They got a defender playing for Manchester City, folks. I mean, Kusan, oh my God, they got talent spread all over the pitch. And then lastly, DR Congo, who, like Iraq, had a crazy World Cup path, going through so many big games, so many big moments, not just in Africa, but going to the Interconfederation playoff and ultimately defeating CONCACAF's very own Jamaica 1-0. Gritty match, but DR Congo showing that they deserve to be at this tournament. There will be no easy game in this group. Simply put, plain and simple, Group K is full of quality, and I think you'll have to earn first and second place in this group, which are most likely going to be Portugal and Colombia, but I think they're going to get tested just right off the bat against these teams.
Yeah, that's an interesting reality for this group. Is there is a ton of quality even with the team that will end up in fourth place. There'll be a hell of a fourth place team. But with that being said, I still see a split where there's two clear better teams versus the bottom two teams. I have Portugal and Colombia in first and second place. I think the difference right now between Portugal and Colombia is that Portugal just simply have star players in every single position, not just one or two like Colombia do. Yeah. It's in every single position. Portugal have a stud. I mean, you have Nuno Mendes at left back. You could probably play João Cancelo, who's found a renaissance period at Barcelona. At center backs, you have Ruben Diaz leading this back line. And then in midfield, you've got Vitinha, of Champions League winner, João Neves, Champions League winner, Ruben Neves, honestly a very good ball possessor for Al Hilal. You have Bruno Fernandes, one of the better midfielders in general in the world right now, coming off of his best season of his career. And up top, man, I mean, you've got Bernardo Silva, who will probably feature on that right-hand side, Pep Guardiola's right-hand man. And on the left side, you could honestly have your pick. You go Pedro Neto, very direct. You go Rafa Leao, a little bit more physical, tricky player. Oh, yeah, very physical. Or you could go Joao Felix, who just had honestly a stellar season in Saudi Arabia. And then up top, of course,
My God,
a man searching for the World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo, who, yes, I mean, there's a lot of controversy around him.
Yeah.
You think about 4 years ago, there was controversy about him starting at the World Cup. It's the same thing. 40-year-old Cristiano's at the World Cup, but he's going to be starting, make no mistake.
yeah, that's Portugal. That's
Portugal right there. And they're going to be topping this group because of all of that.
I agree. I think that game against Colombia, I believe, is the third match day. So we'll see the context heading into that game. But if we get a full-strength Colombia, there's a full-strength Portugal, cinema, one of the games to watch in the group stage. It's going to be ridiculous. But I think Portugal should be expected to win that game. They are the favorite to win this group. Portugal in first place for me. But Colombia, bro, is one of the best tests. When it comes to that 1-2 matchup, I think Colombia is one of the best tests to potentially end up getting first place because they could build momentum for themselves in the group stage, live up to the narrative that they are one of the best teams out of South America, live up to the narrative that they are an actual dark horse contender. They could do that in this group by surprising Portugal and balling out. It's not like there's a big gap between them, I believe. Like the quality that they have on the pitch can have them in a game against Portugal. Luis Diaz, fucking Daniel Munoz, Richard Rios in the midfield. James Rodriguez still coming back, older now, but always capable of big moments with Colombia. This team is riddled with talent as well. They have a chemistry and energy to them that I think is going to be infectious here in the States. I do see them getting second place. I have Colombia in second place, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they get first place off of a crazy result against Portugal.
Yeah, Colombia will clean out Uzbekistan and Congo. They're going to... I really do see them destroying both teams, which does allow the option for Colombia to top this group if they can just beat Portugal. The reason why I don't think that will happen is because of Colombia's defense specifically. I think it will... I think it's a little too open. We've seen it a lot post-Copa America where Colombia do concede a lot of goals. And especially against a team like Portugal, who have such offensive threat, I think Colombia's offense won't be as free as it will be against Uzbekistan and Democratic Republic of Congo. It's that one difference, just defensively, why I have Colombia finishing in second.
Uzbekistan for DR Congo, this is a fun one because we're looking at two teams that I think are going to be putting in great shifts, great performances to fight for third place and play with a lot of pride because these are not, I don't think these are easy teams to beat. And Uzbekistan plays very good fluid football, whereas DR Congo can be so physical and just make every match a fight and just tough to find that space and find those gaps. I'm going to go with the story, with the positive energy, with the excitement of Uzbekistan. Yeah, I really do love this Uzbekistan team and what they've been showing and doing in the AFC, in the Asian region. And I just want them to get one result where they can feel proud of themselves for making it to this tournament and showcase their style of football, their samba, if you will. And I actually think it'll happen in that game against DR Congo. I think Uzbekistan will get Congo's number, bro. And I see Uzbekistan winning that game to get 3 points. And then, hey, fingers crossed that something works out in your favor to qualify through to the next round. But even if they don't, bro, I think Uzbekistan getting third place would be a massive achievement for that country. It would just be a sign of what's to come for Uzbekistan. It's the perfect foundation to work off of to hopefully bring more success to your country in the footballing sense for the following 10 years.
Yeah. On paper, DR Congo have a higher ceiling than Uzbekistan right now, but Uzbekistan play the prettier football. They play such a fluid style. It's Manchester City-esque. They got players that I want to highlight specifically. Austin Urunov, one of the dirtiest wingers in all of the AFC region. He's going to be able to feature for this team. I just love their approach. It's pass first. And I think it will get the best of DR Congo in that game specifically. I really hope so, because Uzbekistan have such a good opportunity to show the rest of the world, first of all, that they're even a country, that they exist, and that they play damn good football. I have Uzbekistan finishing in third.
Oh, let's go, man. Folks, let us know. Do you see Uzbekistan getting third? Or does DR Congo get that spot? And then obviously the race for first and second. Comment down below. We're on to our last group before the exciting knockout stages. We got Group L, England, Croatia, our beautiful Panama here in the CONCACAF region, and Ghana filling out the rest of this group. England Let's start with them, bro. This is a team that's been searching for World Cup since 1966. Imagine the scenes that they're able to do it in the States, in Americas, where England's able to lift the trophy up once again, falling short time and time again at the most recent World Cups, the most recent Euros, but making it deep every single time. Croatia has matched that level of consistency, you could say, reaching deep levels in these tournaments, but considering their context, considering their population size, and maybe their more talented player pool, it's an incredible achievement what Croatia's been able to do. I mean, they were in a World Cup final in 2018 and then made it back to the semifinals in 2022, bro. They eliminated Brazil, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy what Croatia has been able to achieve on the World Cup stage. Panama, one of CONCACAF's best teams in the past few years, has returned to the World Cup since 2018. Maybe not in the best form, maybe not in the best shape going to this tournament, but it's still Panama on home territory. Maybe they can do something special or get a surprising result in this group. And lastly, Ghana had one of the more straightforward experiences in CAF qualification. Not that much drama, I would say. Taking care of business because they were the best team on paper in their group, got the results, and qualified automatically out of Africa. They're here, maybe not posing as high as a threat as we've seen from past Ghana iterations, but still having that talent on their team that on any given day can pose a threat, like guys like Semenyo, for example,
right.
Manchester City. It's a fun group to look for where I do think England will start off by topping it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to ignore England's run that they went on 2 years ago at the Euros, where they didn't even play that good of football, but they went all the way to the finals and took Spain to the end. That's how good England are, even when they're not playing their best football. I have that so ingrained into how I view this team that even though Croatia are playing very well, and that they've been able to manage a very good period where they've integrated new players under Dalic, I still see England winning. I still see England topping this group. And you could tell me, well, you know, Saka's not in the best form. You could tell me, well, where's Foden? Where's Palmer? You could tell me that Bellingham's struggling at Real Madrid this year. You could tell me, like, does Declan Rice have a partner? Jordan Henderson can't be that guy anymore. No. It has to be somebody else now. You could look at the backline and question the experience of players like Gahey and Konsa, Reece James even, Nico O'Reilly. It's a new back line for England. But I still back the overall sheer quality of the Premier League. And I just have England topping this group, and not only that, going very, very far in this tournament.
I agree. No contest there. I fully agree. England is that team. Are you seeing a clear contender for second place here? Because I think I am, bro.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think there's a massive gap between second and third place.
I think it's Croatia's spot to lose. Second place is going to be theirs. Look, they played and eliminated England in 2018 in the semifinal. This will be a rematch of that game. It was an incredible performance by prime Croatia. I do think there's a gap that exists nowadays, though, between this Croatian team and England at this tournament. Croatia, though, is a team that I will never underestimate. I've learned to respect them just off of what they've been able to do on the international stage. Yeah. Even if Modric is in a wheelchair at this point, bro. 40 years old. Perisic still getting minutes, still getting the start. Also very old. Even if you have that, Croatia just generates such incredible disciplined talent. They have a system in place where it doesn't really matter where their players are playing at. They're always going to play so well as a team. I'm going to highlight Luka Vuskovic, who's making rounds right now in the footballing world, playing for, I believe, Hannover in Bundesliga. 19 years old. I think he's going to have a very similar tournament to what we saw from Joško Gvardiol in 2022, where he made a name for himself and got acquired by Manchester City. Vuskovic is in that back line playing for Croatia and is just a classic Croatian center back, defensive player that I think will show that sturdiness and that discipline in that back line. Croatia, I think, comes into this tournament once again looking to make a special run, although, you know, I got to think at some point it's got to end.
Yeah.
Right? Out of 6 World Cup appearances, they made the semifinal 3 times. That's a crazy ratio. I do get curious if with this team, they'll finally meet their limit and not go as deep as we've seen them in recent memory.
Yeah, Croatia's interesting. I just wonder about the engine of Modric. Yeah. Because that has been the reason why they've gone to back-to-back semifinals. But of course, this team is greater than Modric. The technique of the Croatian is as high as it gets, and it's why They've been so successful at these tournaments. But I just think with the added knockout game now, due to the expanded World Cup, I think the chaos has multiplied by 10. And I think that's going to hurt a team like Croatia, who really does rely on taking games extra time. And I think eventually, maybe round of 32, round of 16, that luck's just going to die out for Croatia this summer.
Yeah, even with that, I don't think they'll struggle in this group. I don't.
No, not this group.
The team that would pose the biggest threat would be Ghana, and I don't see Ghana as a team that can really match the level of England or Croatia. I don't think they've been that impressive, bro. I really don't. I don't buy the Ghanaian dream right now. Although they do have good players up top, I think the rest of the squad leaves a lot to be desired, and their lack of an identity, I'll say, just doesn't give me confidence that they can get the points needed to get out of this group.
Yeah, they're in terrible form right now. Probably, I mean, form-wise, probably one of the worst teams at the World Cup, just to be frank. It's not looking good for Ghana. They just fired their coach a month ago. Really trying desperate measures to get this team ready for this World Cup. I just don't see it happening when there's such pedigree with England and Croatia in this group. They have the sheer talent, though, I think, to finish in third place over a team like Panama.
Because I think that's a sign of just how low Panama is expected to play at this tournament.
Yeah.
It's a team that we thought could reach incredible heights in CONCACAF. They made multiple finals, and whether it's the Gold Cup or Nations League, they made great runs. They've had great teams. Carrasquilla, our boy, bro. Our boy. I almost got him painted on the mural at one point. Almost. It almost was Carrasquilla behind
dope,
me.
actually.
It almost was. But it seems like he's dealing with a knock. Will he be available? We'll have to wait and see. This Panamanian team also struggled in qualification in the CONCACAF region, a region that didn't have Mexico, USA, or Canada competing in it. You expected Panama to ball out, but they never truly did that, barely doing just enough to make it to the tournament. I wanted to believe in the Panamanian dream, but I think I'm looking at this tournament in a similar way to what I saw in their 2018 appearance and their debut, where I'm just hoping for a goal here or there, a moment for Panama to be able to feel proud about the fact that they are at this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I said Ghana are one of the teams with the worst form in this tournament. Panama are the same, unfortunately, which is why I think this will be such a straightforward group. Panama's form these last 12 months has not been good. They struggled ultimately in World Cup qualifying when they simply shouldn't have against the quality of teams that were there. And just in recent friendlies, with injuries that they have as well, they really have been struggling. And it's such a shame because if you could erase the last 12 months, Panama had a great 3 years. They've had a really good 3 years. But unfortunately, just bad luck or whatever you want to call it, their magic that they had, it's gone. And they're really struggling right now. So, yeah, I have Ghana in third place, Panama in fourth. But either way, I'd say Ghana, Panama, probably one of the weaker teams at the World Cup in general.
I agree. Give me Ghana in third, Panama in fourth to finish off the group stages. What a run it's been. Let's move on to third place finishers, where we establish which 8 teams out of the 12 third place squads qualify through to the next round. It's time now for Taking Care of the Ball, presented by Dove Men Plus Care. Dove Men is an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Care for your skin like you care for the game. So, Tara, I want you to tell me what player that many people might not know about is going to go off at the World Cup.
I'm going to go with a little surprise here. Norwegian winger, young Antonio Nusa. Absolutely crucial for Norway in their World Cup qualification, just flying up and down that left flank. Very good in one-on-one situations, and he's got a banger in him. Very good also at club level with RB Leipzig. May not be more of a numbers guy, but you see him play. He can dribble past 2-3 defenders. Absolutely stellar watch.
All right, third place teams, 8 to select out of a total of 12. I'll go through my 8 selections and you'll do yours.
Let's do it.
All right, producer Red. These are the teams going through: South Korea, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Scotland, USA, Ecuador, Japan, Iran. That's 7 out of 8.
God, man.
Isn't that crazy? Cape Verde out. Senegal out. My hot take, I think they struggle to score against Iraq. Maybe they probably will win 1-0, 2-0, but goal differential will not help them, as I do see them losing against France. And I ultimately do see them losing against Norway. I think Senegal is my hot take. They will not make it, even if they get third place. meaning that I got to pick between Algeria, Uzbekistan, Ghana. I'm going to go Algeria qualifies through. They have Jordan in their group. They'll get the goals needed there. Uzbekistan will fall short. They'll get the result against DR Congo, but maybe just 1-0, and they're going to get pounced by Colombia and Portugal. I don't see much happening there. Same thing for Ghana. They're going to concede against Croatia, England. They'll probably beat Panama, but it won't be enough to flip that goal differential. I think it'll stay negative, meaning that those 4 teams, Cape Verde, Senegal, Uzbekistan, Ghana, don't make it through as third place squads.
Tight, man.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Yeah.
What about Senegal won't get blown out in any of their losses to France or Norway? Or is that what you're saying?
I think there's a chance.
Okay,
Like a
so
France,
you're
France
betting
4-1,
on that
like
chance.
a France 4-1. Maybe the game's 2-1, but then it opens up in the last 10 minutes and boom. Mbappe brace and Senegal's like, shit, we fucked up. Yeah.
I'm betting on the opposite. I think Senegal will lose both games, France, Norway, but very tightly, which means I would have Senegal going through. But to go through mine in order, Czechia will go through, Bosnia Herzegovina will go through, Scotland will go through, Paraguay will go through, Ivory Coast will go through, Sweden will go through. Iran will not go through. Iran will not go through.
New Zealand, bro.
New Zealand will keep that
Okay.
game tight.
The New Zealand
New
dream.
Zealand will keep a game tight. Iran will still win probably, but New Zealand will do something in that match. Cape Verde will not go through either. They won't go through either. I think Spain will just be too tough of a task. And they won't be able to really score against Uruguay, which is going to hurt them. And they will beat Saudi Arabia, but I don't think by enough. I
agree.
Senegal, I already just mentioned. They will only have 3 points, I think, at the end of the day, but their goal difference will be, I think, just enough because I don't see them losing by multiple goals against France, Norway.
Fair.
And I think they'll be able to figure it out against Iraq. Algeria will go through,
Wow.
and that leaves Uzbekistan and Ghana out.
Okay.
Reasons you already said. Uzbekistan, I think, will get pounced by Colombia and Portugal. And same thing with Ghana. England, Croatia.
I mean, I'll take it. We agree on 3 out of 4. Like for our brackets, Cape Verde, Uzbekistan, Ghana, we each have getting out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, I would take that. I think that's, yeah, we'll take it. Let's move on. We got the round of 32. This is where the fun begins, folks. We're going to look at each one of our own matchups, run through them, predict what we have happening. Round of 32, I think is going to be some crazy, crazy games.
What is interesting, though, is we both have predicted, and statistically it's also predicted, that all European teams will get out of the group stage.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Statistically, it doesn't sound right, but I've really tried to look at it.
Yeah.
I just think that will happen.
Yeah, I think Europe's going to do really well at the tournament.
Yeah, me
I
too.
truly do. We have Czechia going up against Canada. Oh, man. To start, that's crazy. Canada can beat Czech Republic. They can beat Czech Republic. I'm going to go Canada wins this knockout game. The Canadian dream continues. Czech Republic is limited. They're very good. They're very disciplined, organized, but they're limited both defensively and offensively. Canada can take advantage of that. Canada to the round of 16.
And I'm going to actually agree with you. My Canadian team's playing South Korea, but Canada's going to win that match. If Canada finish in second place the way that we both have them doing, then they can beat either Czechia or South Korea 100%. Canada will go to the round of 16. But my God, bro, that is going to be a very stressful game for Canada. To the point where I'm going to be very nervous for them.
I don't know who's going to have a more dramatic World Cup between Canada and USA.
That's
like,
the thing,
it
bro.
feels like every game is going to be
it's gonna
sweat
kill
and
me.
tears and
Yeah.
stress and anxiety for you guys.
Yeah.
My next matchup, Germany, USA, because I have the USA finishing in third, but going through, they will get a tough matchup, a
Monster.
repeat of the friendly that we just saw a few days ago. Have no choice but to pick Germany in this one. I think Germany does defeat the USA, and the USA gets knocked out in the round of 32. Disappointing ultimately for a US squad that I hope would get to the round of 16, but I think that's where finishing third in a tough group ends up getting you. Germany wins that game. It's not personal, bro. It's not. I know you got Lily at Pulisic behind you. It's not personal.
Oh,
It's just. It's not. It's not. Man. It's not.
Germany will take care of Paraguay for me. I think Paraguay will make that game fun, but I just see a class difference, a true class difference between the two sides. Germany will take care of business there.
Major class difference. Let's move on to the next game. I got Netherlands against Morocco. Holy moly, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, my God,
Yeah.
dude. This is an insane matchup in the round of 32. This could be a quarterfinal matchup, but we're getting it in this round. God. So this is a Dutch team that I have finishing in first versus a Morocco team I have finishing in second. I've expressed my worries with Morocco, their offensive limitations, where sometimes it feels like they don't know how to get the goal that they need. I think against a Dutch team with a very good defense, they're going to struggle even more. I have the Netherlands winning this game. Morocco, disappointing, getting knocked down in the round of 32.
God, man, you gotta.
I got headlines.
I don't like yours, man. USA and Morocco out.
USA and Morocco out in the round of 32.
I have the same matchup, but I have Morocco winning. I think Morocco. I already said in the group analysis, they are better than they were 4 years ago, and I think it's going to play a big factor here, just their approach. The fact that they can have the ball. I think they'll need that approach against a team like the Netherlands. It's going to be tight, but I'm going to back Morocco here, especially with Brahim Diaz, honestly playing out of his mind when he plays for Morocco.
Brazil, Sweden up next for me. That's a fun matchup, just the jerseys, what I'm thinking about on paper, but this is Brazil. Brazil should win this matchup. Sweden will pose a threat. First 50 minutes might be a little tough. Maybe they even get a goal in, but Brazil will wake up with an atmosphere that's geared towards them. They're going to knock the Swedes out. Brazil wins this game, probably 3-1 at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same analysis for me. Brazil winning, but against Japan. Ultimately, that group with Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, I'm just not rating.
Damn.
I'm not rating it at all. So I think Japan will maybe get a goal, but Brazil should be able to honestly win that one pretty handily.
I have the Japanese going up against France. And so, similar to you, I have Japan out in the round of 32. That's tough, man. That is tough because you have Japan getting second place, and that's still a tough matchup. I have them getting third, and it gets tough as well.
Oh, dang. So Japan have to finish first if they want H. But even then, Japan would have to play Morocco.
Man.
So that's tough.
That's tough. Give me France. No question here. France does not lose to this Japanese team.
Yeah, same with me against Sweden. But there's just no way Sweden beat France. There's no way. That's going to be like a 3-4 goal game for France.
Ivory Coast, Norway. Damn, dude. If you talk about two teams that are coming in with high hopes with that dark horse label, this is it. This is the dark horse battle. Norway going up against an Ivory Coast team. I think this is a 2-2, 3-2 type of result, but I think I'm going to give the edge to Norway here. Norway wins this game. Ivory Coast is going to get caught in this match. This might be the moment where you get like a Haaland hat trick. You get like a Haaland special moment to announce himself on the World Cup stage. I just don't see how a team of that quality ends up losing to Ivory Coast, who is a great squad, but I think Norway just punches at a higher level. They can punch hard enough to knock out this Ivory Coast team.
Damn, you think about both teams though. These are insanely tough paths, just in general. Ecuador having to deal with Ivory Coast and Germany in their group stage. Norway having to deal with France and Senegal in theirs.
Jeez.
And then this is their first game once they get out of the group. Brutal. This is brutal if you're either Ecuadorian, Norwegian, or Ivory Coast. It's just brutal no matter which way you paint it. But like you, I'm sticking with that Norwegian magic that we described in the group stage. I think it's going to be big, not just at the group stage, but in this tournament as a whole. There's something special about Norway. There's something beautiful about this team. They're going to figure out how to beat a very sturdy Ecuadorian side for me.
Ecuador getting out of round 32 would really disappoint me.
That would be very disappointing.
I agree, though. I think whoever wins the World Cup will have gone through an absolute bloodbath to get there. I don't think an easy path exists anymore with the expansion. And Mexico's going to end up lifting the trophy, going through a crazy path, starting off with Scotland. We got Scotland, which actually on paper, this is a tight matchup. On paper, this is not an easy matchup. I think what makes it lean more in favor of Mexico is the home factor, is the momentum of us topping our group, while Scotland will have gone to this place in third place. I think that in of itself, the mentality that we've been winning our games, we're rolling, we're feeling good about ourselves. We got a round of 16 awaiting us if we win this game. I think Mexico just does not lose out on that opportunity. They take care of Scotland and they can defeat them. I have Mexico winning this game. I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Mexico at this point will have the momentum. They'll have the energy and the crowd behind them. I could see Mexico having not an easy win, but ultimately maybe a comfortable one against Scotland. I have Mexico winning. It's great, though. You top the group, You get round of 32 and round of 16 at Azteca. It's massive for Mexico to top their group.
Apologies to my Scottish, man. I think they're not an easy team. Like, that is going to be a tough match. I mean, it could go to extra time. It could be really difficult for us, but that home factor is just massive. I got to think it helps Mexico in that situation. Next up, I got England, Algeria. That's an easy one for me. I'm going England. I think there's a huge gap there in quality. England will use that opportunity to start building the momentum towards actually going for the title. I think they beat Algeria 4-0.
Yeah.
4-0.
Yeah. If it's Algeria, England have a very comfortable win there. For me, though, if Senegal get out, that is a crazy matchup for both of them.
Wow.
That's insane. It would actually be a rematch of the round of 16 4 years ago. A game that England actually comfortably won. I think this one would be a lot tighter, but one that England would still come out victorious in.
Damn, unfortunate for Senegal, man.
Yeah.
Winning AFCON, but then getting a tough draw in the World Cup and having that ultimately define your tournament. Because I think with a different draw, they make it to the round of 16.
Absolutely. That sucks, but yeah, England will England's quality will show in that match.
Turkey versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is a fun one. We got a classic UEFA battle here. Yeah. Two European teams in the boxing ring. But, man, I think Turkey comes in with UFC moves and they knock this Bosnia team out. This is the type of matchup we saw in the Euros where Turkey, I think, showcased they were the better team. Bosnia is ultimately a mid-tier European squad. I think Turkey is a little bit higher than that, with potential to be a top 10 team at this tournament. Turkey wins this game. Kenan Yıldız assisting Çalhanoğlu outside the box finish, and then Arda Güler solo individual dribble goal to put it past the Bosnian goalkeeper. 2-0 victory for Turkey.
Yeah, I just think Bosnia's weak point is against teams that have an offense like Turkey. I just don't really see Bosnia being able to handle that pressure. I got Turkey beating them as well.
Belgium versus South Korea. Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen this matchup. I don't think I've seen it. This will be fun to see. But I'm going Belgium. I think South Korea's defense is not ready for the flair and individuality that Belgium has. South Korea has showed that they really struggle with players that aren't afraid to take you on, that aren't afraid to go at you. That defense is praying that you don't do that. And Belgium, unfortunately, is loaded with guys that are trying to do that. I think this becomes a goal fest. 3-0, Belgium wins.
Yeah, same thing for me on my side, except it's against Czechia. It will be Belgium all day long. There's just no way Czechia could manage the pace and directness of Belgium's offense. I see several goal win for Belgium as well.
Dude, we have the same matchup here, Colombia, Croatia.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I guess that means Colombia's destined to face off against Croatia.
Yeah.
Because,
no matter what.
Getting second place for both teams is pretty realistic. This is what's going to happen, man.
Damn.
Dude, tough game.
So
tough.
That's really, really tough. You would...
Yeah. Either the Croatian run of overachieving comes to an end, or Colombia disappoints as becomes one of the most disappointing teams at the World Cup if they don't make it past round 32.
Colombia have to win this one.
They have to.
You consider them having a home advantage. Colombia's going to show it like crazy here in the States. They have momentum offensively. We already mentioned Luis Diaz, John Arias, James Rodriguez in his final goal with the national team. The midfield does look good with players like Rios. I'm just going to say Colombia have some sort of magic at this tournament. They'll figure it out against Croatia.
I think it's all on Luis Diaz's shoulders. He is the best player on the pitch going into this game.
Yeah, there you go.
Win it for your country.
Yeah.
I think Luis Diaz does something here. Impressive, as we saw in that PSG Bayern matchup. Give me that happening. Colombia wins this game, but my God, dude, this is gonna take everything from this Colombian team. Everything.
Yeah, it's going to be
such a tough matchup.
Tight.
Spain versus Austria. We also have this same matchup. Fun, really fun to see a Spanish team go up against Ralph Ragnick's Austrian side, a team that's not going to make it easy at all for the Spanish squad, but one that I do think Spain should still edge out and be able to defeat. I don't know if comfortably, but they should be able to win this game.
Yeah, it might be tight, maybe for the first 45, 60 minutes, but then I think a gap is going to start showing itself. Austria, at the end of the day, I don't think can really handle a top-tier side. This is their ceiling. Spain will definitely win this matchup.
Switzerland versus Iran is the matchup that I have. I'm high on Switzerland, dude. I'm really high on them. I think they're a top 10 team in the world. What they did in qualification was so impressive. Against Iran, I don't think Iran has any of the tools needed to really slow down the Swiss side. They're going to get cut apart. I have Switzerland winning that game. probably like a 3-1, showing dominance, showing momentum, and getting the result.
Yeah, I think my Switzerland matchup against Algeria will be just as straightforward for Switzerland, though maybe a little bit tighter in score line. But I see 10 times out of 10, Switzerland are beating Algeria.
Dang, I mean, yeah. I would say with certainty. It'd be crazy, though. It'd be crazy if Algeria does something there. Someone's going to surprise, bro.
That's the thing. The more knockout stages you add, it just becomes more like March Madness, where it's just one game off. Chaos just starts getting inserted. Absolutely. What is that surprise? Maybe we've already said it with like Norway winning.
Right.
But there could be something even crazier with like an Algeria.
Do we get a surprise in Argentina, Uruguay? We both have the same knockout round matchup. I say no.
Nah, this is for me also straightforward, man. Uruguay just don't have the offense to shape up against Argentina. It might be tight. Argentina might only win by 1 goal. It's due to Uruguay's defense, but Argentina every day of the week.
Yeah, I have questions about Argentina, maybe against a Spain or a France, but against South American opposition, I think it's almost one of those 10 times out of 10, even if it's Brazil.
Yeah.
I think they have South America's number.
Yeah.
Portugal versus Ecuador. Damn, this one's crazy. One of the most high-powered offenses against one of the best defenses in the world. I got to continue on with my doubts, my concerns for Ecuador, where the lack of goals does scare me, and you're going to need them against Portugal. I don't think you can go all the way to extra time on a 1-1 result against Portugal. They're going to score multiple goals. They're going to break you, and you got to be able to answer back. I'm going Portugal wins that game.
This is crazy because you look at Ecuador, Ivory Coast's group. It seems if you finish second or third, you're screwed. You get a really tough matchup to the point where if you finish in first place, you just saved yourself. And you probably go to the round of 16. But if you don't, man, God, these matchups are brutal. Because for me, Portugal, Ivory Coast, but I got Portugal.
Yeah,
I got Portugal.
And I want to say Ivory Coast.
I want to say they have the quality to go to round of 16. These matchups are brutal in round of 32.
Paraguay, Egypt. Then happens. Very different matchup for me. But yeah, you get these very high octane matchups, and then you get a Paraguay Egypt where, hey, either team's looking at themselves like, bro, that might be our time.
Wide open, man.
I'm backing South America here with more fans in attendance potentially, although Egypt will show up now that I think about it. Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Best opportunities at the World Cup. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just got to think if Paraguay gets second in their group, I'm predicting they get a result against USA. I'm predicting they show out against Australia.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they do it against Egypt. We'll see the best version of Paraguay in this game.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. If it was Paraguay, Egypt, I would. USA, Egypt is what it will be. 100%. Or maybe we even top the group. Who knows?
Right.
USA will definitely beat Egypt at home, 100%. I think Egypt will make it definitely very, very difficult, but Egypt will be no different than a Paraguay. They'll be no different than a Turkey or even an Australia. We will be very prepared for this game. At home, we'll have the edge.
I like it. Round of 16. I got Germany, France. I think every matchup from here on out is just going to be banger. And you have it too as well. Okay. I'm going to go France. I'm going to go off of history. I'm going to go off of talent level. I'm going to go off of big game experience. I think France is on a crash course to make it to another final and is working with dynasty type of problems here. Whereas Germany still trying to assert themselves as a nation back on top. I don't think they'll do it at this tournament, but they will definitely pose a threat in this match, and it might be a little bit of what we saw in the Euros and that Germany-Spain matchup where Germany pushed Spain all the way to the end. I think they might do it here with France, but France is gonna win this game. They're not getting knocked down the round of 16.
Nah, man. Olise, Dembele, Doué, Cherki, Mbappe, Thuram. Have fun with this France team, man. That's what I'm gonna do at this World Cup. Germany, like you said, I think we'll be able to make the game tight. 100%, but France's offense is too shiny for me. I can't ignore it.
You rank the best 11 players in this game. Are like 8 of them French?
Right.
Then it's Musiala, Wirtz.
I don't even know if I put Musiala in right now. Right now, I wouldn't even put Wirtz, bro.
Even Wirtz.
Maybe Kimmich just because of his workhorse rate.
Right. Jonathan Tah, maybe.
Maybe
he can. Yeah, defensively.
Yeah, that's about it. France all day.
France all day. Next up, we got Canadian hosts. I got them playing against Netherlands. You got them going against Morocco. This is where Canada meets their end. This is where Drake says goodbye to this team. This is where Bieber maybe goes out crying as the Dutch take advantage of this Canadian side. Netherlands, once again, just showing that knockout game prowess. I think this is a favorable draw for them ultimately, but they do defeat this Canadian team. And once again, we see the Netherlands make it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Yeah, Canada cannot get past this round. I think no matter how you shape it up, this is their ceiling. For me, it's going to be Morocco, who ends up killing the Canadian dream. But I want to reiterate here, you're sleeping on Morocco, bro. You're sleeping on them.
You're sleeping on the Netherlands.
You disrespected them in the group stage, and you've disrespected them here because I have Morocco going to the quarterfinals.
Wow.
Quarterfinals, my friend, and I think they definitely will pull it off. And what a matchup, though, if you consider it. If this ends up being Canada Morocco, honestly, Canada will have a opportunity. They'll have a chance. Even against the Netherlands, it might not be clear cut, but either way, I just don't see Canada going through.
I got Netherlands in the quarterfinals. You got Morocco in the quarterfinals. This is the big one right here, man. This is the big one. We have the same matchup here. Brazil versus Norway. Oh man, I've struggled a lot with this game because every simulation I do, this game happens. It's like no matter how, like this is the only one that I stay consistent.
Yep.
And I really struggle. Sometimes I go Brazil, sometimes I go Norway because I just think, man, like Brazil does not have a player like Haaland. They don't. Haaland is the best player on the pitch. But then you look at the rest of the squad, man. I mean, Brazil does have bigger names in the midfield, bigger names in that center back duo. If they're at the round of 16, you got to think it's been a party up until that point. You got to think, damn, Brazil is looking at Norway like, they haven't done anything. Let's knock this team out. Let's get deep in this tournament. Man, this sucks. Because yesterday I thought a certain thing, but I think I might switch up today.
Okay.
I think Brazil wins this game.
Yeah, you're going with that.
I'm going Brazil.
You're going Brazil.
But genuinely, I've been picking Norway to win this for like the past 3 weeks, but something. It's a feeling. It's an air. It's an energy. Brazil, final 8.
See, I'm on the other side of this mirror that you're looking at from the Norwegian perspective. And what I see is opportunity. I see a team in Brazil that still hasn't fully found itself under Ancelotti. A team that will be good for all the reasons we talked about in our group stage analysis. But a team that is beatable. Yep. And if Norway can get out of their group in second place, and a group that contains France and Senegal, then that means Norway came to play. And if they came to play, they can down this Brazilian team. Wow. I have Norway shocking the world and beating Brazil in the United States, thus booking themselves a ticket to the quarterfinals. If you think about dark horse narrative, this is the perfect matchup because Brazil's not too big. Right now, on paper, Brazil's not that good when you compare them to the best teams in the world. That's the type of team you want to face if you're a dark horse. I think Norway will take advantage of that.
Yeah, they're the Italy of Conmebol right now. And we saw what Norway did to Italy. It's kind of a similar sentiment. A team that's trying to get back on the world stage but falls short every time. Imagine Norway does that again. They take out this Brazilian team after, essentially knocking out Italy. It would be insane. It's a big bet.
It's a big bet.
They haven't been here since what, like 2002, 98 or something like that.
98,
right? That's a big bet, but be one of the best stories in football if they're able to do it.
Yeah, if Norway, it doesn't matter who they beat. If they go to the quarterfinals, that is just insane success for a team that genuinely should not be in the top 8.
Dude, at the expense of Brazil, imagine the chaos that would cause. Yeah. Especially Norway, where a lot of casuals might not even know about them over there. Like, oh my God, dude. Turmoil for Brazil if they don't get through in that game. Next up is a big one. It's a big one. Mexico versus England at the Azteca. This is everything, bro. This game is everything.
Dude, imagine Kane and the scenes of him shooting at the Azteca. Like, that's what I'm excited about. To see, like, Morgan Rogers dribbling in Mexico.
In between, going at Cesar Montes. Going at Johan Vazquez.
It's going to be sick.
Mora on the ball, and he's got Declan Rice eyeing him like a fucking eagle. Oh, my God. Like a vulture.
It's going to be fire.
God, man.
Yeah.
I get so caught up in the emotions of this game so much, bro. Just a round of 16 matchup. By this point, we're assuming Mexico gets first place in their group and they win the round of 32 matchup. That would have every Mexican dreaming. Yeah. That would have every Mexican dreaming because that's a perfect tournament up until this point. Going up against an England team that, yeah, on paper is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. We talked with the Fútbol Asada guys about how certain factors might be able to even this matchup up, such as being at home, such as the altitude, the heat, the environment,
momentum,
the crowd, momentum. I think it definitely makes things a little bit closer, a little bit tighter. But even with that, England should be viewed as a favorite. They just should, bro. It's England, man.
I know, man. I know, because
I have England going through. Yeah. I have England going through. Yeah. Yeah, and I realized this like 2 days ago that like I have England going through. But that doesn't mean...
Let's pick Mexico. Let's pick them,
Hey,
man.
what's a selector doing? Who's controlling this shit, man?
Let's pick Mexico.
I need people to know that I think that, but I'd happily pick Mexico. I would. But I just need people to know. I do think England wins that game.
Montes Vázquez masterclass. Quiñones shows up. He scored over 30 goals in Saudi Arabia. Raúl Jiménez is in the form of his life with the Mexican national team. Brian Gutierrez and Fidalgo showcase that they could play at the European level. Gilberto Mora shows up maybe in 20 crazy minutes.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Producer Roger saying England has a bad day. England has a bad day in Mexican soil. Maybe they had too much tequila a couple nights before.
They're known for disappointing. I mean, let's really think about it. This era is known for falling short.
At World Cups,
they just called up players. Tuchel got credit. Maybe they're missing Cole Palmer. Maybe they're missing Phil Foden. You said it. Defensive line has never really played together. It's a new defensive line outside of Jordan Pickford. Saka isn't playing that great. It's England, bro. It's England.
God damn it, man. Yeah, I'll pick England too. I hate it, but I'm picking England too.
I hate it. I think England wins it. But will I give everything? I mean, I'm going to drain myself that day. I'm giving everything. And I don't care about the prediction. If we end up making it to quarterfinals, I will not feel bad for having said England. I don't care. Care. We make it to quarterfinals, like everything. I forget everything.
Well, but the reality is, if Mexico do beat England, then Mexico can go to the final.
I agree.
Which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
And so I think you're right. We have to say England here.
If they win this game, if Mexico wins this game, yeah, we're contenders to win the World Cup. And I think that's why that jump is something I've never even said myself.
Right. I've never said that.
I can't do that to myself.
Right. You're right. No, you're right.
Starts. Not
you're
yet.
Right, you're right.
If England wins it, though, it'll be an incredible victory. Honestly,
it'll be dope.
Yeah.
It'll be lit. Mexico will give us a hell of a game.
Yeah.
A great game.
Colombia, Spain. We have the same game here. God, dude, this is just as crazy for Colombia. For Colombian fans, it's the same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you kidding me?
God.
Oh my God. That's where they end up getting knocked out.
That sucks, man. That really sucks.
Damn.
Because I really don't trust Colombia's defense against elite offenses, and Spain is as good as it gets. Spain will beat this.
Spain beats Colombia.
Spain will beat this Colombian
With all
team.
due respect, I think this is a tough draw. I think Colombia gets any team outside the top 5. I probably back Colombia.
Yeah, no, I would too. I really, really would too. And it sucks. Because that's what I'm saying is, like, you look at a team like Norway, Brazil is more favorable than a team like Spain at the end of the day. Spain is tough, man. Spain is tough.
What if up to this point, Spain has been playing kind of weird?
Right? Well,
like they just tied against Iraq.
I'm gonna use the England analysis at the Euros. They will, even their low performance will be good enough to go to a semifinal.
Yeah. Turkey versus Belgium. We also have this same matchup. This is a fun one because you mentioned Norway as your dark horse pick, as a team that you're going to bank on to make a deep run and surprise against all odds, or just ride that wave of momentum that they've had. I think we have two teams here that represent that very well. Belgium, with what we mentioned, very little pressure, but amazing talent. And Turkey in a really good era with young players entering their primes and playing very good football after an impressive quarterfinal showing at the Euros. I have Turkey as my dark horse that actually lives up to the potential. I have Turkey matching their Euros run. They're going to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. This is the team that I'm ultimately instilling my faith to live up to the dark horse narrative. Turkey to the quarterfinals.
I like that, man. I mean, Turkey, the energy that they showed 2 summers ago at the Euros, it was unparalleled. Like, it was dark horse energy embodied. That was what Turkey was. If they were able to do it again, they have the tools. That's what's exciting about this Turkish team. They haven't dropped, really, I think, in these last 2 years. They've probably even gotten more confident and better in how they approach the game. I like Turkey as a dark horse. I'm going to back my Belgium take, though, in the sense that I just think their offensive pieces are so good that even a team like Turkey will ultimately succumb to it. Doku, De Ketelaere, De Bruyne feeding those players, Trossard as well. I think it will ultimately outdo a very feisty Turkish team.
No, I think Belgium is the favorite in this game going in. But Belgium losing this game would ultimately seal off De Bruyne, Lukaku's career in the most fitting way, I think. Disappointment. Yeah, it'd be terrible.
Just De Bruyne just throwing his jersey on the ground. It's like, we can't even beat fucking Turkey.
Yeah, I'm done. Like, you're the favorite going in, you lose the fucking game and it's over. Like,
God.
Argentina, Paraguay, easy pick for me. I've said it. If Argentina faces off against a South American team, it's Argentina 10 times out of 10. No analysis needed. Argentina is a better team here. They win that game.
Damn, that'd be 2 South American opponents for Argentina to start the knockout stage. Low-key annoying.
Group 2.
They would basically get to sleep for a little bit and then wake up in the quarterfinals. That's nice. And actually, that's very nice if you think about needing to be fresh late into knockout stage. Argentina will definitely be fresh if they get Paraguay and Uruguay as their matchups.
God, man.
And the thing is, I mean, they'll have USA is going to be, in my opinion, just as easy as that Paraguay matchup. There's no competition here at the end of the day.
What a fun matchup, though. Like, as a USA fan, you'd be going in like, just what if? Not to win, but even like, what if Pulisic jukes out Otamendi? Like, that's kind of, I think that'd be damn dope.
It'll be fun in the sense that the American fans will get to see Messi play.
Yeah, like,
that'll be fun.
Go up against Messi and like, oh man.
It actually reminds me of 2016 Copa America Centenario, where the USA actually had a really good journey into the knockout stage. Play Argentina, get walloped 4-0. I basically see the same thing happening. At this point, if the USA make it to the round of 16, it'll be because they've had really cool moments. Yeah. But this is a hard boundary that the USA will not cross. Argentina is simply so much better than the USA.
Damn. All host nations out by the round of 16 for us. Yeah. Yeah. With Mexico really being the only one that we fiddled on.
I believe in that one. I do not believe in Canada or USA at this level.
Right. Switzerland, Portugal, the last matchup that we both have. This one's really, really fun because we're talking about winner here faces off against Argentina. Would it be a historic matchup between Portugal and Argentina, or an incredible game between Switzerland and Argentina? Switzerland, I think, they're the spoilers here. And I think that's something that they thrive in doing. I think team-wise, I think they're at the same level as Portugal. Portugal just has bigger star factor. But as a team, man, this is as even as it gets, bro.
It's 50-50. And I know people will probably disagree with that, but this game is 50-50. And that's heartbreaking to hear if you're Portuguese because you have such high hopes for this team. But if you face a Swiss team in the round of 16 and that ends up being the team that knocks you out, God, that would hurt. That would hurt. And not only that, man, there's potential for an insane matchup for Portugal in the next round. It would be against Argentina. And I think about 4 years ago when there was such high hopes for Brazil to play Argentina and Croatia end up spoiling that matchup, the same thing could happen here where the whole world wants Ronaldo, Messi, but we get Switzerland, we get Dan and Doy against Leo Messi instead. I really do think that could happen.
Yeah. It tends to go that way.
It tends to go that way, which is why I have really struggled with this pick.
Yeah.
I've really struggled with it because I don't know who's going to win this matchup.
Let's let producer Red pick it. I have to think. It's coming to me at this moment. I have to think Portugal finally figures it out. They win this game. I have to think it. It just has to. Bruno Fernandes finds it. He finds the gap. Joao Neves, Vitinha, they're winners, bro. Portugal,
they're winners.
Portugal has not had that.
They're winners.
Now these guys beat Switzerland's midfield. Forget Ronaldo. Like everyone else is like Nuno Mendes cooks is like it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Yeah, this is not the Portuguese squad of old. It just isn't.
Right.
And this team wins this game.
Right. If we consider this Portugal's best team ever, they got to prove it. This would be the perfect time to. You look at Switzerland. They have a knack for not showing up at these type of matches where they play good in group stage. They play good in a round of 16, round of 32. But when they place a really good team in a knockout setting, Switzerland tend to lose those games. I'm with you. I think Portugal will win this match, but shit, man.
What were you going to say, Bruiser Rod? You were going to say Portugal? He was going to say Portugal.
Okay.
So, okay, I think it makes even more sense. Folks, we got the quarterfinal stage now. It's getting very serious. All right. France versus Netherlands for me, and France versus Morocco for you.
Yeah, fun.
Very fun. Very fun. I think levels will be shown here, though. France defeats the Netherlands, ending yet another top 8 run for the Netherlands, while France goes on to do the adult things, which is actually vie for the title.
Right.
You know, they drop Netherlands off at school,
right,
while France goes into work at Wall Street.
Yeah,
you know, real shit, grown up shit.
I got France, Morocco. I think it's gonna be a fun game. I really do. Morocco's gonna. I really do think do the same thing they did 4 years ago, and that's just capture the hearts of the world, showcase that they can play really good football. But France is just gonna be too good. There's gonna be too much to handle for Morocco. Already listed France's stars. They will take care of business in this match.
Next up, I got Spain versus Turkey. This is a really interesting one for me because I've said it. I have Turkey as my dark horse pick. Unfortunately, I think this is one of the worst matchups they could have. I think we saw it in World Cup qualification. They're in the same group.
Yeah.
Spain spanked Turkey 6-0. And I just don't think there's any way you flip that result in a setting that's much bigger where Spain is looking to kill. I think it's a bad matchup for Turkey. I think they would have had a better chance against a Brazil, maybe like in England, for example. But against Spain, Spain's going to be licking their lips against this Turkey team who does have a questionable defense. And will ultimately be looking at a top 8 finish as their biggest achievement. Spain wins this game 10 times out of 10. They move on to the next round.
Yeah, it'd be such a heavy jump for Turkey.
Yes.
To have to just go up to Spain in a quarterfinal setting. It'd be so difficult. Spain-Belgium, I think, would be a tighter matchup than Spain-Turkey. But Spain are all around just a better team than Belgium. I think where Belgium would thrive is against teams that aren't as fleshed out as Spain. But I think the moment Belgium play an actual team that is complete from front to back, that's where Belgium are going to lose. Not even necessarily against Spain, but it just so happened it will be against Spain.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Belgium's like a 6th to 9th best team in the world, I would say. I just haven't seen them face a team in the top 5.
Right.
And I feel like a lot's going to show once that happens.
Exactly.
I don't think they'll figure out how to break a defense like that when they're getting out-possessed and constantly under attack. I have Brazil versus England next. This is,
dang, that's a hell of a matchup. That's a hell of a match.
This is probably one of the best international matches when it comes to styles, history, the people, the reactions, the banter. Brazil, England is as different as it gets. I would be just as excited for this matchup as I would for Argentina, Portugal, if we got it.
Damn.
Brazil, England. That's great. I don't think I've ever seen it.
The two history. I mean, England discovering the game of football, inventing it, and then the Brazilians making it famous.
Yeah.
It's two insane histories going at each other at such a late stage in the tournament. Like, just the name Brazil and England itself is already a banger match. So
And then
just imagine the players themselves actually performing for us. It's gonna be a ridiculous game.
and the originators of the game winning the matchup. That would say a lot. I have England winning this game. Brazil, their dream again ends in the quarterfinals. Ancelotti can't figure it out. And England, coming off of a heavy matchup against Mexico, takes care of business against Brazil, and they move on to the semifinal.
Norway, England. Norwegian team that would have had to beat Brazil for me to get them here. Norwegian team that would have had to do the impossible and figure out how to manage a group with France and Senegal in it. A Norwegian team that hasn't really played big teams when you think about it, right? They only had Italy and Israel in their qualification, but they did put over 30 goals in that group stage. This would be an insane stage for them. Quarterfinals at a World Cup when they haven't been to an international tournament in 30 years. They haven't been to the Euros, man. They don't know what knockout stage football is like, and here they are in the quarterfinals. This is ridiculous. This would easily have every single Norwegian in existence in front of a TV screen, though.
Imagine.
This would be historic for all Norwegian athletes around the world. This match of Norway against England in a quarterfinal World Cup. Ridiculous. Yeah. And then for England, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they've been searching for trophies these last 10 years. Surely you beat Norway. Surely you back yourself in this matchup and you're like, okay, we have to win this game. We're going to a semifinal.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the things you're thinking. And look, I'll tell you this. Looking at basically every World Cup since we were kids, in the final four of the teams, there's always one team that just isn't expected to be there. Like, you look at the big ones. 2022 had two of them, Croatia and Morocco, that I think were not top four favorites to make it.
Right.
2018 had Croatia once again. I do feel like we're in a point now where the level of football is so high that you got to have one surprise team in that final four, man. That's why I was so close to getting, to believe in the Norwegian dream. But you have an opportunity here to actually deliver, bro. You got a chance, man. The final four of France, Spain, Norway. This is your chance to do it, man.
If Norway get here, it's because they would have done truly magical things. If England get here, it's not necessarily the case. They're just that good quality-wise, pound for pound. England's better than 95% of teams. But I'm going to kind of go off of what you just said. There's magic in the air. There's surprise waiting to happen. If we consider this more of like a March Madness type of chaos, I'm going to back one truly crazy thing to happen, and that's Norway going to the semifinals.
It's a great thing to back.
And that's Norway going to the semifinals.
Norwegians, get in there. Get in here. Get in the chat.
I've been a huge fan of Bodo Glimt these last 10 months. Maybe that's what this is. Right. I'm just seeing things yellow and black.
Yep.
I'm just a big Bodo fan. Yep. If that's the case, I don't care. I'm backing Norway.
Norway through. It's possible. I think against England it's possible.
If Norway get there, it's 100%
against England,
possible.
yeah. Against Spain, France, maybe not so much. But England, I think it's there. I think it's there. Last matchup is one of the greatest matchups in football in history. Match 100 as well. Isn't that crazy? Argentina versus Portugal. Quarterfinal matchup. Messi versus Ronaldo finally happens on the international stage, and it's to see who goes through to the semifinal, the final four of the World Cup. The legacies on the line. Argentina looking to get back-to-back World Cup trophies. Well, they got to get past the greatest striker of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Portugal looking to live their first World Cup. Ronaldo looking to live his first World Cup. Who does he have to get past in this tournament? The one and only Messi, the man that has haunted him and challenged him for his entirety of his career.
Yeah.
That's what we have here.
Yeah. I'm back in legacy. I'm back in history. I'm back in the greatest player of all time. I'm backing Argentina in this matchup. Wow. And I know Portugal could not look better right now. The supporting cast around Cristiano is as good as it gets. I actually don't know if it can get better. Truly, from a Portuguese perspective, I don't know if the talent can get any better than it is right now. But as we said at the beginning for Argentina, I think they just are winners. And their quality still is insanely high. I haven't seen Portugal do this.
Right.
I just haven't seen it, even with the talent that they have. I think Argentina will take advantage of that inexperience. Argentina will book themselves a ticket to the semifinals over Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal.
Does this game have potential to challenge the 2022 FIFA World Cup as one of the greatest games of all time if it delivers?
Yeah, well, I mean, if Messi and Ronaldo both scored against each other, with that narrative of two of the greatest players of all time being on the score sheet, going at each other, it would be so fulfilling for all fans of the game. The people who casually watch it know the name Messi and Cristiano, and the people who passionately watch it, well, we know everything about them. So this already is just one of the greatest matchups of all time. If it delivers, then I mean, we as football fans all around the world get completely delivered.
Yeah,
these two teams.
It's a top 3 game of all time. Maybe not as good as 2022 final because that's a final, but this is just one of the greatest things that a football fan could hope for, and we might get it unless Dan and Doy has different plans in that Switzerland game. I agree with you, though. I have Argentina. For me, it's the experience. For me, it's the fact that this is such a big stage. I worry about Portugal on big stages, especially with a coach like Roberto Martinez. I don't think he's at the same level as Scaloni. Scaloni will know exactly what to do in preparation for this game. The players know exactly what to do. They're not going to get scared with the moment. I think Portugal might get a little shook. And ultimately, my take with Portugal is I think they're going to lift the World Cup, or at least get closer to lift the World Cup once Ronaldo leaves, unfortunately. Not because it's his fault, but I think the timeline, they ultimately are a young team when you look at their star players. Nuno Mendes, Joao Neves, Vitinha, all are still very young players that will be entering their primes when they host the World Cup 4 years from now. And so I don't think it's that big of a disappointment for them to fall short once again. I think their time will soon come, but Argentina, just a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
That's who I have winning this game. And we have our semifinals set. My 4 teams are France, Spain, England, Argentina. Yours are France, Spain, Norway, and Argentina. I will say, I've done this a lot of times now. I truly believe that we are on a crash course. No question. Like, it'll be disappointing. It'll be a shock if we don't see France and Spain in that semifinal matchup. I think they're both destined to play against each other. Like, truly. I think the paths are there for each team. Almost on some zero excuses type shit.
Yeah.
France and Spain should face off against each other on that side of the bracket in a semifinal.
Damn, you're right. You look at the other side. I see England making it. I see Argentina making it. But I mean, Portugal could beat Argentina.
Right, Portugal could.
I wouldn't be that surprised if that happened. So there could be a lot of variance on the other side. Whereas France and Spain's side, they are the 2 best teams on their side of the bracket.
Yes.
They must meet in the semifinals. Great take.
Completely agree.
So it's 2 unstoppable forces then facing each other in the semifinals. At this point, I think it's just going to be another just like top 3 game of the tournament. Like, this is going to be end to end. We're going to see some of the best offensive football that could be had in 2026 in general. And I think we're going to see Spain go to back-to-back major finals, winning the Euros 2 years ago, and they will book themselves a finals appearance at the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
I mean, the performances on the day. If Spain goes through, then I think a big reason will be Yamal's performance in that game. That's what you're telling me. Spain wins that game, it's because Yamal did something crazy. It's because Williams is on the other side cooking as well. It's because that midfield controlled what is an incredible French midfield and was able to bypass an incredible French defense. That's what you're telling me with France winning that game. I really just think it's about what happens on the day. I really do. I think it's really up in the air. I don't think there's a favorite, to be honest, going into this game. The talent level on the pitch will be something iconic. I think you take a picture of the players on the pitch right before the game, and we'll look back on it 10 years from now like, holy shit, look at the talent that shared the pitch on a World Cup semifinal. I have France winning this one. I have them winning it. It's going to happen. I have France figuring it out, going to their third World Cup final in a row. Deschamps is still here. Mbappe is still here. That's all you need to go on a deep run with France. And Mbappe's got help, bro. He's got help now. Olise, Dembele, Doué. And that star-studded midfield behind him, a great defense too. Saliba in his best form. France is going to defeat Spain in a crazy shootout type of match. But I believe in the French dream. I just do. PSG winning the tournament. I think France is on a high right now. And France makes it to the World Cup final once again.
So then you look at the other side of your bracket. If you have France, 2022 FIFA World Cup finalists, already making it, then who do you have meeting them? Because Argentina is right there, bro. Are you saying repeat of the 2022 World Cup final?
They're calling it the sequel. We got the sequel, bro. We got part 2. I got Argentina,
you have Argentina?
France in the final.
No way, bro.
For a second time in a row and third time in World Cup tournaments. They faced off in 2018, but in the round 16, one of the best games ever as well. I have them facing off against each other back-to-back times. The narratives going into that would be insane.
That would be insane.
I feel like not a lot of people are considering this as a final. Everyone's looking to Spain and Argentina. But I understand it. Euros winners versus Copa America winners. But I think there's a very strong possibility we get a repeat of 2022. And I mean, I went back and looked at those highlights of that match, and bro, if we were able to get that again, with just the different combination of players, but with Mbappe and Messi once again facing off against each other, it'd be the ultimate gift of football, bro. It really would, and it's something I'm ultimately rooting for. I want to see this. I want to see France, Argentina, and I'll reveal my winner once we get to your final as well.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it, man. I like the finality that we got 4 years ago. Because imagine if Argentina win again, and it'd be France losing back-to-back finals to the same team. Argentina would own France for eternity. For eternity, bro. Like, you can't recover from that.
Yeah.
And then if France were to win, then I would be left feeling like, shit, I need the trilogy.
Yeah.
I need the trilogy. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Damn.
Bro. But at the same time, I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it,
You
man.
make a great point. It's a great point.
On my side, just to finish out who will make the finals, Norway, Argentina.
Crazy matchup.
Crazy, man. Just to say that, crazy. It doesn't matter who it is on that side, if it's Brazil, if it's Norway, if it's England. Argentina's going to the final. I look at who have been the best teams in the international scene for the last 4 years, from 2022 to 2026. It's just been so definitive. It has been Spain and Argentina. I have Spain making it to the final by beating France. It only makes sense that I have Argentina beating Norway in this sense.
Wow.
Argentina, just like Spain, are so dominant. They're so unified. Their chemistry is unparalleled. But also in every position, they just have truly world-class players. I have Argentina making back-to-back finals. And for me, I also have wanted to manifest this matchup. We didn't get to see it in the Finalissima that got canceled.
Of course, yeah.
But I think the world deserves to see Spain play Argentina. We've been asking who's better, Euro winner, the Copa America winners, or the reigning World Cup champions winner. Who is better? Well, let's find out in the final. Spain, Argentina.
All right, we're looking at 2 finals here. Mine's France versus Argentina. Yours is Spain versus Argentina. I mean, I get your perspective. In a way, I do want to see that matchup as well.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I do,
It'd be fire.
because we haven't gotten it, and I need to get that answer. But just the way the bracket works is, I think football is going to take control here. The football and gods, they're going to give us France versus Argentina again. We already talked about this matchup. I mean, Messi going for back-to-back trophies here. Mbappe breaking the record most likely on his way to the final once again. And France trying to build a dynasty of their own part. This is everything to me, man. This matchup is everything. I have France winning it. I have France winning it.
Damn.
I have France defeating... This golden era of Argentina, I think, will be put to an end with France, who have been the rightful challengers for them these past few years. Putting the sword through the metaphoric Messi that exists here. Argentina will still be seen as one of the greatest international teams of all time. But France, I think, considering that they haven't lost a step, considering that they could just continue to generate more and more world-class talent, is going to get rewarded for that. They're going to get rewarded by going to yet another final, and Deschamps will solidify himself as one of the greatest international coaches of all time, winning 2 World Cups out of 3 possible, making it to 3 finals in a row, and just proving a level of excellence that we truly haven't seen on the international stage. France is that good. I don't think it's outlandish to say that they could go on to win this tournament. I think they have everything that's needed to do it. It's just a question of themselves. Can they play up to their best level? The ground, the foundation is there to do it. I think they figure it out. I think they do it. I think they get motivated being here in the States. I think France wins the World Cup against Argentina.
Because I don't have France in the final, but I agree with the take that I do think Argentina will lose. I have Spain being World Cup winners for different reasons, obviously. For me, when it comes to Spain and the way that they approach the game, I just see them as a complete team. A team that knows how to use fullbacks in offensive positions, but also not being too risky, so they're still able to have defensive coverage. A team that is very good in the center back position. A team that has the best midfield in the world, both in possession but also creatively. A team that has the best winger in the world, in my opinion, in Lamine Yamal. And a team that has such good chemistry and link-up play and combination in passing. You look at the striker position, it'll probably be Mikel Oyarzabal, who on paper by name isn't outstanding, but the way that he plays for this team, it's perfection. That's what Spain have. Off the bench, you got a guy like Dani Olmo, who's one of the best passer link-up players in the game as well. It just gets so good for Spain when you look at their starting 11 and also their next 4 or 5 guys up that come off the bench. For me, they are a complete team that have been playing with each other for the last 3 to 4 years. They already proved that they can win and play at the highest level 2 summers ago at the Euros. I think they'll prove it again here this summer, even against a team like Argentina, who is just as complete. But I see Argentina more as a team that is on its way out as far as their dynasty is concerned, whereas Spain are on their way up. So it'll be a hell of a game, but I have Spain as winners for FIFA World Cup 2026.
Yamal World Cup Euros before turning 20 years old. That's what you're telling me, man?
God, man.
Jesus.
Which would make sense because I do consider Yamal as basically the next Messi.
Right.
A way to do that is to win the 2 biggest trophies you possibly could.
Right. Spain picked as 22% of the majority has picked Spain, 21% France, 18% Portugal. Argentina not even in the top 3.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, that's actually a good thing to point out is you look at Argentina's side, England is probably very favored to go to this final, which would be really interesting to see because you could see a Spain-England final, which would be a rematch of the Euros, or if we get France-Argentina, there's a lot of like rematch potential or just straight up like top dog facing each other in this final. So either way, I think no matter who you get, whether it's France, Spain, Argentina, England, it's going to be insane final.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. The glory there is to gain for any of these countries, I think, is just insurmountable. It's to dream about. And more so, I saw this take online, but I wonder when's the next time we're going to get a new winner.
Whoa.
I think we're at a point now where, I mean, since Spain got theirs in 2010, I think that might have been the last one that feels new. And until 100 years from now, when Mexico wins it, I don't know when we're going to get a new winner, bro.
Yeah, because the best chances, let's go through it. I say CONCACAF doesn't really have a true contender.
Nope.
The next chance in CONMEBOL, I'm going to give it to Colombia.
Right.
But we saw their path is brutal. Their path is brutal. If you want to say Ecuador's path is brutal. That's tough. And for Europe, I say Norway have a good chance, but eventually I just think they'll get caught by one of these bigger teams. And you could say the same thing about like Switzerland and Portugal. Like kind of same thing as Norway. At a certain point, you would just imagine they get caught out by a top 3 team. And that's kind of it, bro. Like, I just don't really see an African team doing it. I definitely don't see an Asian team doing it.
Yeah, Portugal is the team that I think has the best chance. I would throw in Netherlands because they generate talent pretty often.
Netherlands always has a chance just simply because of their talent. That's a good point.
I think Portugal is the only other country that 20 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to win the World Cup. Outside of that, I think it might be over. We might be cooked. Might be cooked, man. Repeat winners every time. Possibly, bro. Possibly. I got France winning.
Yeah.
Soltero's got Spain. Producer Rudd, who do you have winning?
I'm still going to England.
Producer Rudd's going England.
Mm-hmm.
He's going England. Folks, I need to know down below, who do you have winning the World Cup? This is the biggest question. This is the question to answer. This is the moment. The time has arrived. No more hiding. If you usually watch our videos but don't really comment, put that aside. I need you to comment now. All right? I need you to get involved. I need you to let me know down below who is winning the World Cup. Tell me why and tell me what it's going to do for their legacy. You know, if you pick Germany winning it, what does that mean for Germany? Let me know down below. These are our World Cup predictions. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have so much World Cup content coming once the tournament starts. It's so close, folks. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. Let's do this, baby. World Cup 2026. Till next time, guys. Peace.